And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, breaking news. We have some idiot trying to shoot at the White House. He was, I guess you would say, the situation, the threat was eliminated. I don't know if he's dead or what's going on, but he's no longer a threat. Secret Service shot at him. There were about 30 rounds or so fired off. This just happened right around 6:25 or so p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, RIP to Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch, famous NASCAR driver, died suddenly, 41 years old. He had pneumonia that progressed into sepsis. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Tulsi Gabbard is out as Director of National Intelligence, the DNI. She cites her husband's aggressive rare form of bone cancer. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. And we got a whole lot more issues on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And shout out to you guys again. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We have quite a bit going on. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Thank you guys for being here yet again. Shout out to you guys who were on the Instagram live stream on Tuesday. And if you don't know, I stream there on Tuesdays, and the video gets uploaded on Friday, 8 p.m. If you guys are interested, check it out on the YouTube when I upload. Check it out on the Instagram when I do it. And shout out to you guys who were also here for the Wednesday stream and throughout the week as well. I most certainly appreciate y'all for that. Look out for Uncle ABL. I got quite a few pieces of content happening over there, and a lot more will be on the way. Shout out to you guys again for supporting that, for those who do. And for those who don't, go ahead and do it, especially if you got people who need the advice. A lot of the young people need a lot of the advice. That's what I'm here for. And shout out to the young guys who came on the stream on the Instagram on Tuesday. That was a good one. Yeah, I got, talking to some of these young guys, I get the feeling that there's this, I don't know, it's this sentiment where it reminds me of a lot of what I saw when I was young. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. What's going on? Eurasian Boy, good name, says, sup, Unc? Shout out to you. All right, shout out to Devin. Thank you for joining, Devin. NKM says, died suddenly and super cancer. This is giving me flashbacks. I don't know what happened. You never know what's going on with Kyle Busch. And RIP Kyle Busch. You never know what happened. It could have been something that was there and maybe undetected. He had pneumonia. I don't know how that came on. I don't know all the background as to how his ailment happened. All I know is that it happened. I mean, things happen. Sometimes I knew a guy that was real young, like 25, RIP him. I ain't gonna say his name. I don't want to put him out there, but he had a blood clot and then he was dead. I said the blood clot broke loose, hit him in his head, and it was over with. You never know. Sometimes people just die suddenly like that. And if you know, back in my day, maybe they did some type of something with that. Maybe we got the Mandela effect going on. But back in my day, I remember spontaneous combustion. Do y'all remember spontaneous combustion? That was a thing. And if you are young in the chat, I don't know the last time that was a thing that I ever heard spoken about, spontaneous combustion. If you're young or you're just not familiar, basically what would happen is people would just catch on fire and burn to a crisp, burn to ashes, just out of nowhere. Laying in their bed, I'm burning up. Now, I don't know if that was urban legend or what that was, but that was a thing that I would hear about back in the day. You don't hear about that too much anymore. But my point is, to not be funny, my point is that you never know what happens, why somebody dies, or what. Sometimes things are just sudden like that, and they come out of nowhere, out of the clear blue sky. Somebody could be talking perfectly well, they'd be totally fine, and then they get sick, there's a rapid decline, and then they're gone. You guys remember that? Spontaneous combustion? I've not heard that too much anymore. I wonder what happened to that. Like, why is that not a thing that's spoken about anymore? I don't really get it. Yeah, oh, yeah, exactly, Topper. That went the way of the Bermuda Triangle. Spontaneous combustion, all that kind of stuff was really a thing. Cowboy said spontaneous combustion was public testing with beam energy weapons. Hey, you're saying it, not me. I'm just, hey, you never know. Just like they say that a lot of the alien abductions are really human beings doing it, and it's not aliens. It's human beings using advanced technology that the rest of humanity doesn't have, and they are conducting experiments and whatnot on people. I was hearing the story that they said that they put an alien, that they put a regular human being, like a short adult, like a horse jockey type person. They put a short and skinny adult in a green space alien costume. They put them on these man-made UFOs, and they would go abducting people. Now, I don't know nothing about that being true or false. I'm just telling you what I've heard. I've heard quite a few things. I have heard a lot. Banana Giggles, these names are funny, says heart disease, #1 killer, heart attack will take you out of here. It will. It sure will. And that's why y'all know me. I harp on the fitness thing. I am so big on fitness. Today I fasted. Yes, I did. But yesterday I had me a good New York strip, 14 ounce straight to the face with some grilled asparagus. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Shout out to Hennon's downtown Chattanooga. Hey, you did your thing with that New York strip, medium rare. But today I was like, you know what? Since I had that with some mushrooms or portobello mushrooms and my asparagus, since I had that today, I'm gonna fast, and I'll probably fast tomorrow too. Maybe I'll do a handful of peanuts or something like that. But the reason why I'm mentioning my diet and what I'm eating is because that's very important. Your health is your wealth. If you're not healthy, it doesn't matter. You could be rich and famous and you could still be gone out of here, and you can't take it with you. So you have to just focus on your physical body. Focus on your physical body and your earthly possessions at the same time. But your physical body got to come first, because if you don't have this, then it doesn't even matter. You're not going to be here to enjoy your wealth. You're not going to be able to earn your wealth. You're not going to be able to, if you got family, you got kids and a wife, you're not going to be there for them. So please, you guys, especially, take care of your health. But everybody take care of your health. And it's not difficult to do. I got some videos later when I'm going to show some of these fast food prices, and a lot of y'all are doing DoorDash. I would never. A lot of y'all doing DoorDash and spending more, much more than what you would spend to go to the grocery store and purchase your food. And you buying the most non-nutritious garbage you can imagine. Okay, some of the most big back concoctions that I've ever seen in my life. You know, I go to some of these steak spots because sometimes I want to just get a steak done for me. And it's just steak. We're not talking about nothing that's really crazy, no highly processed stuff. It's just steak. It's a slab of meat from the cow. You burn it one side, burn it the other side, maybe put a little bit of, you know, little salt on top, something like that. But for the most part, it's pretty simple. It's one ingredient. But anyway, I go to some of these places, and when I'm ordering, I'm looking at their menu, and I'm seeing the most big backed-it. That's not a word, I know. ABL, that's not how you, the most big backed-it foods you could ever imagine. Okay, there's a hamburger that has mozzarella sticks in the burger, and then there's American cheese. There's 15 cheeses plus mozzarella sticks fried, and then it's like this big. It's to the point where it's comical for you to be able to eat it. For you to be able to eat that, it's like you got to be like some type of cartoon. Your mouth is going to have to open like at a 90-degree angle. It's going to be like that to open up and eat, or your mouth got to go like a machine, like some kind of trash compactor. You got to have a real life trash compactor on top of your head to eat these concoctions, these big backed concoctions. So yeah, don't eat that stuff. Try to go for the one ingredient, simple stuff from the grocery store. That'd be a good way to maintain your health, if nothing else. If no exercise or nothing like that, just make sure you do that. And don't have too much salt, things that are going to, you know, draw water out of your body. You don't want that going on. It sounds good to you, official bearded vlogger. Hey, man, if you like it, I love it. I don't know how you're going to be able to consume that, but hey, where there's a will, there's a way, ain't it? Amen. Banana Giggle says, I can no longer have steaks, ramen noodles for survival. Thanks, Trump. What happened? Oh, you're talking about like the cost. I get it. But I think some people say that things cost too much, but they don't understand how to spend their money. They don't understand how to spend their money, because if you do any kind of DoorDash, if anybody is coming to me talking about things are too expensive, but they do DoorDash at all, I'm like, you playing games because you're doing DoorDash. Like, your order might have cost $10 if you went to go pick it up, but because you did DoorDash, it's $20. You got fees and tips and this and that and this and and then compound that day to day or multiple times per day. Some of y'all doing 2 or 3 times a day, and then multiple times a week. It's going to compound and be more expensive than if you just went to the store and purchased the food yourself and cook, or just go to the place and pick it up. Y'all know me. I will order a pizza and go pick it up. I refuse to have anybody deliver a package of food to my house. That's just not what I do. Unless I got, my back done broke. Okay, I can't, my knees, I done tore my ACL, my CDL, my BBL. I done tore all of that and I can't move, or I'm 1,000 years old, something like that. Okay, I get it. But if I'm able-bodied, I can move around and do whatever. I just refuse to go get the food and then I say I can't afford it. That the math ain't mathing. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Dude says eventually we will all be allergic to red meat because of the ticks they be planting. Yeah, I saw that whole thing with the ticks, the alpha-gal syndrome, but I think they'll be able to come up with a cure. I think that these things are planted there intentionally, and if it was planted intentionally, there was also a way to reverse it intentionally. Now, what they might want to do is roll out some of that GMO meat that Bill Gates and them have, so you can bypass the ailment. Oh, well, this kind of meat, it'll go great with your alpha-gal syndrome. It won't inflame it. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but I really wouldn't worry about that. I really wouldn't worry about that too much. I think that they're going to be able to find some kind of way to get beyond that. And then there's also natural remedies. I ain't too much worried about that. All right. Mr. Rich says, plus eating gas station food every day. Gas station food. Gas station food. Good grief. Hey, if you eating gas station food, then you are a soldier. If I'm out on the road, yeah, like a Buc-ee's, that don't really count. Buc-ee's is not a gas station. Buc-ee's is a center of the community. Buc-ee's is like, it's like a tourist trap. It's like a real place. Yeah, you got real people back there making this stuff, chopping it up. Buc-ee's on the board, and you get that like that, rather than going to McDonald's and they say, you pull up to the window. All right, go ahead. What you want? Buc-ee's would never. So they don't really count as being gas station food. But anyway, I'm reading some of the comments and I'm going to keep going. Brooklyn Robocop says, hey, ABL, do you agree with the 1 gram of protein per body weight? I mean, I don't really get it down to that level, but I think that's probably about right. But I don't really get it down to that level. Yeah, that's getting into the... If you're trying to be looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think you got to do it like that. It's at that point, it becomes a science. I'm not so exact because I'm not trying to have that type of look right now. But if I wanted to have that kind of look, I would get down to the science of, your macros and all of that. I'm just not really on that. But I know that if I wanted to achieve that, superstar look, I would do something like that for sure. BB Map says, ABL, do you buy beef from a local grocery store or local farmer? Well, both. I've done local farmer and grocery store. Yeah, and we get a lot of stuff straight from local farmers here. Not always the beef. And I get a lot of fish too. And the fish, you can't, So I get some beef local. And then, of course, with the fish, you can't get local. I try to get stuff from Iceland, the Icelandic char. Maybe wild caught Alaskan if it's in season. I try to avoid the farm raised. The farm raised is a little bit too fatty, like it's kind of lazy. The farm raised it's a city fish. I don't want the city fish. The city fish been walking down the street, lazy, slow pace, not really having to work, kind of chilling in the basement, Cheeto dust. I don't want the city fish. I want the wild fish out there fighting sharks and, just working for every morsel of food they get. It'd be more athletic and more life in it. It'd be more athletic and have more life in it. Track says, I used to get an excellent chicken at a gas station in Fort Myers. Oh, I'm sure. And you know what? When I was in Miami, they had beef patties, Jamaican beef patties at the 7-Eleven, like right there by Brickell. I'm like, oh, okay. I saw it in a little thing they had. It kind of was like how they have hot dogs in a little stand on the counter. They had beef patties in there. I'm like, okay, let's try this. Why not? And that thing was amazing. I don't know whose auntie was in there cooking or what happened. And they got some kind of auntie distribution program in Miami where they hand out beef patties, all kind of Jamaican food to the 7-Eleven. But my, that thing was amazing. You know, I've been at Jamaican spots in Virginia and other parts of the country, and it was kind of on par with that. So yeah, shout out to them. Yeah, I'm not eating no fish from the Tennessee River. I refuse. And they had the Iron Man out here recently, and part of it is swimming in the river. Hey man, that river is so crazy dirty. Like at one point, Chattanooga was a very industrial city. We still have some industry here, but at one point it was very industrial to the point where it's kind of like Cleveland, where it was real industrial and they put whatever they want in the river. Y'all know that the Cuyahoga River was famously on fire. The river was on fire because it was so much crap, so much debris, so much flammable material in the river, it caught on fire. It was the same kind of thing in Chattanooga with the Tennessee River right there. And since they have not been as industrial, the pollution and whatnot is not as bad. But sometimes that old sediment on the bottom of the river gets stirred up, and the smell is not very good. I'm talking, it stinks. It does. You go downtown, it's like, what's that smell? Like, I kind of taste it in my mouth. I don't like that. So yeah, it's not as bad anymore. But at one point, yeah. So to swim in the river, absolutely not. To catch fish out of that river and keep it, like I don't catch and release, and just to keep it, nah. No. That's catch and release only. But I know some of y'all getting catfish from like, bro, I refuse. You getting catfish from that water? Hey man, you're gonna have to purify that in some kind of magical broth just to you know what I mean, fillet it and eat it. No way. Waikiki, is it that bad out there? And I had no idea it was that bad out there in Waikiki with the water. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. We have a breaking news story about a shooting outside the White House. So from what I read, from what I heard, what happened was there was a person who shot at the White House 3 times, and Secret Service opened fire on this person. There was one bystander hit, but I don't think anybody died as a result. I think it was just, basically a shootout that happened because a guy shot at the White House. It think like 30 rounds were shot. We'll get to that a little bit later. But I'm wondering who did this. Are we going to get a name? Are we going to get a face? And it's going to be the same kind of person. Orange man bad. I hate Trump. And the mainstream media and a lot of your politicians have spurred this on. They've egged it on. And your late night shows, RIP. Well, not really. I ain't going to say RIP. Stephen Colbert, his show is done. His last show, I think, was on Thursday the 21st, May 26th. And it was time. It was time because one thing about it, their show sucks. Was he the one that had the hand puppet? It's like, okay, bro, I don't want to see you on camera playing with a hand puppet. That's not very exciting. That's not very entertaining. I'm not going to spend time to watch you play with a hand puppet and say Orange Man bad every night. So his ratings were just continuously going down. I mean, you're going to have some smooth brains who say, oh, Trump is the one who did this. He went to the FCC and he told on them and this, that, and the third. It's like, no, it's not Trump's fault that Stephen Colbert's show is ending. The reality is there's less interest in these late night shows because everybody's on their phone scrolling, number one. And number two, if there's going to be a late night show that I'm going to watch, it needs to be something that I find entertaining, informative, interesting. It needs to be something that keeps me there. Orange Man bad every night, not going to keep me there. If I see people like on the podcast and it's entertaining and I'm engaged with it, I watch that for a long time. If it's something about a specific topic that I'm interested in, like for me, anything dealing with UFOs and time space, I'm with it. If you got a good podcast, it's interesting, you got good guests, I'm with it. Your Joe Rogans and whatnot, yeah, I watch that for 2 hours. Even a DJ Vlad, he had an interview with one of the ufologists, I believe, I forget his name, Stephen Greer, he had him on. I watched the entire thing, like an hour and a half or more. Stuff like that will gain people's attention for a long period of time, but not Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel, all these other dinosaurs that are still on television. And at one point, you had late night shows that were good and entertaining. What was it, Johnny Carson? He could hold the show down by himself the entire time. The entire time, he didn't need guests. It could be just him because he was an actually talented person. But your Stephen Colbert's and whatnot are not talented people. They rely on gimmicks and they rely on guests. And that formula worked for a while, but it does not work anymore. In a day and age of highly saturated television, highly saturated media, with our attention being taken away from us all the time, with so much demand for our attention, we now have higher standards for what we consume. And his content does not fit what we want. His content does not fit the standard that we have curated due to all the variety that we have available. So yeah, RIP, but not really. Stephen Colbert's late night show. All the other ones, Jimmy Fallon, everybody else who's left. Is Conan O'Brien, is he done? Is he on the air still? I have no idea. I don't watch any of those late night shows, and I've not even had an interest to know what they got going on in years. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to them. All right. And that's right. President Trump mentioned the media was trying to kill him. That's right. David Warren says current generations will never know a time when late night TV was funny. SNL used to be a comedy until Farley left. Yeah, RIP Chris Farley. Chris Farley, a talent, a real talent. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, at one point, you had real talent on television, undeniable talent, not people who you had to be convinced were funny. It just got to be some kind of dissertation about why somebody is funny in order for them to be seen as funny. Then they're not funny. Either you funny or you not. It's up to those who are watching you to decide. If you go on stage and do stand-up comedy and nobody laughs, and nobody ever laughs wherever you go, so you can't just say it was a bad crowd, you had a bad night, you bombed. At a certain point, if nobody laughs ever, then you're not funny. Same thing with your SNLs and other late night shows. If people are not watching, the ratings are dipping, nobody's laughing, nobody's clipping these shows up, nobody's showing anything from these shows that they enjoyed, then at a certain point, you got to understand that what you're putting out is not, it's a garbage product. It's not a good product. Ebert says Kevin O'Leary on AI Data Center said that his guys had done a deep dig into the IP addresses on his Facebook and found 2 cells outside Utah. Okay. Well, I don't know about that. But, you know, China, they're most certainly here in the USA. They most certainly are. Data centers, the issue with data centers is that they're going to happen. They're going to happen. Hold on. We got a manifesto maybe? I don't know about that. But the person, I'm just looking at some of the updates. The person who did this White House shooting, or outside the White House shooting, to be totally clear, he did not breach the perimeter. He was only ever outside. But this person has died in the hospital. They say they got a manifesto, but I'm not quite sure about that. All I see is just, you know, an incident where somebody shot outside. But we get to that a little bit later. So yeah, shout out to all the late night hosts, the TV show stars, the Hollywood actors, the movie stars who were talented at one point. We are suffering a lack of talent in 2026. You know, they're talking about having Lupita Nyong'o, who is from Kenya, if I'm not mistaken, play one of these characters. I forget who it is. A traditionally white character. I forget who it is. And it's like, okay, I don't really see that. I don't really see, hold on, let me see who they're trying to make her be. But I think the reason why they may want her to play this character, they want her to play Helena Troy. Okay, they want her to play Helena Troy. It's like, okay, can I get a side by side? Now, I think maybe the reason why they would want her to play Helena Troy is because they're going to say there's a lack of white actresses with name recognition who could be that person. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's false. But, okay. Now, In a different movie, that's who played Helena Troy. I don't know who that is. If y'all know who that is, let me know. That is Lupita Nyong'o. That's not a very flattering picture, but you get the idea. You know, a Kenyan person that's Helena Troy, I'm not quite sure I really buy into that. But they're going to say it's because of a lack of actors and actresses who could fill the part. I mean, you might one day see a Transformer play a traditionally white female role or a black female role. You might have that go on. Okay, it'd be a story of Eartha Kitt, pardon me, Maya Angelou, the poet, right? It'd be a story of Maya Angelou, and then it'd be a whole male on there playing her role with a wig and some high heels on. And then what's the excuse? Oh, we couldn't find nobody. We couldn't really find nobody that's talented enough to actually do that. Now, one race swap I'm not really mad at is, who is this? This is Keita Brunson. I know I'm saying her name wrong, but I don't watch television. Quinta Brunson. I know I'm not saying her name properly, but I don't watch television. Like a lot of y'all watch the show called what's the name of that show? The Academy? Abbott Elementary. Okay, I'm reading this right here. Now, she is going to develop and star in her own Betty Boop movie. Now, this is her on the left, and that's Betty Boop. When I first saw Quinta, I thought about Betty Boop because she got that big head and the little haircut and the features and all of that. I thought Betty Boop. And there's a bunch of back and forth about who was the first Betty Boop. Was it a black woman, a white woman? I don't really care. I think this is okay because she's going to do it herself. You see, if there was going to be a Hollywood, if there was going to be a Hollywood studio that cast her specifically, I got to ask, why would you do that? But I think she resembles a black version of Betty Boop. And if she's going to do the show herself, then why not? Why not? Why has no other actress done this before? To develop her own movie and star in it. Why not? Anybody can do that. So why did it have to be her after all these years? But Lupita Nyong'o as Helena Troy, I don't think it makes any sense. Yeah, I don't think it makes any sense. Yeah, but Keita Brunson, Quinta, pardon me, she has the Betty Boop look. The head and all of that is like real big with the little short swoops and all of that. Yeah, it makes sense. But Lupita, I don't get Helena Troy. Anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Hopefully we get more talented actors and actresses to go out there and do things. But now we got AI. AI is taking a lot of jobs. When you watching commercials, like 30-second commercials, 50-second commercials, a lot of it's going to be AI now. A lot of it's going to be AI. I mean, in movies, we're kind of already been getting ready for AI movies to take over because we've seen quite a bit of that already in movies. When you watching your Transformers and your Marvel movies, all that kind of stuff, I mean, you got green screen all the time. So how are you making these backgrounds that the green screen shows? But through the computer. Oh, okay. So how is AI any different? If you do your typical green screen as usual on the movie, and then the backgrounds you see are generated with AI, how is that different than the backgrounds being generated with something else or by more human hands? And even with the human hands, you still have programs and whatnot that have pre-renderings. CGI is not just like you drawing everything by hand. You're using the computer to aid you. AI will do the exact same thing. It will just be a lot more efficient and less taxing on the person who's actually doing it. So you're going to see a lot of AI in movies, and you see it already. You see it already in movies. You see it already on TV commercials and everything else. You saw it during Super Bowl commercial, the entire thing, AI. So a lot of your actors are not going to have as many jobs available to them because of AI taking it. So they need to do things like this where they become the director, where they become the producer and star in their own movies, like Will Smith always has done. He has a production company called I forget the name of that. I forget the name of the company. Willowwood or some kind of Will Smith variant, like his children, Willow and Jaden or whatever. Anyway, it's like that. You have your own production company and just make stuff on your own. Trying to go to Hollywood and get hired, that's going to be a tall task. that's going to be almost kind of like not even really worth it, in my humble opinion. So therefore, you're going to have fewer of these people who can actually do things that are actually talented. Anyway, all right. Track says AI can write a song in under a minute. Absolutely. Absolutely. Elbert says, what are gas prices in Chattanooga? It's high. It's above $4. And I tell you what, the gas is way too high. How your man say back in the day, the rent is too dang high. I ain't gonna cuss because, God's watching. But anyway, yeah, bring that guy back talking about gas prices right now. And I understand the whole Iran thing, but Trump, if you can hear my cry, if you can hear my plea, please get this over with soon, because the gas is only going to keep going up. I saw the gas go up to like 380 something right when the straight got taken over, and now it's like 420 something. If I'm seeing $5, $6, I mean, that's going to be catastrophic, especially since you are going to see that reflected in the price of everything. That's going to cause massive inflation, more than what's happening right now, because when you're talking about fuel, that's going to impact everything. You want to fly on an airplane? Okay, well, that jet fuel is going to be a lot more. So will your ticket. So the ticket might have cost $200 at one point, and now there's no more Spirit Airlines, so there's fewer of the low-cost options to compete with. Delta is going to beat you right in your head. I'm talking about kablam, right in your head. Vegas might have been ahead of the curve, because Vegas has shifted from being more about inviting everybody to have a cheap weekend to catering to the higher paying people, the whales, as they would say in the casino industry, those who have a lot of money and they're going to spend it. They're going to cater to that crowd. And that might be the only ones who can afford to go there from somewhere else because of these plane tickets, the cost of travel. Everything will be affected by the high gas prices. You want to go to the grocery store, get some food, that'll cost more as well. You want to go get some fast food, that's going to be a lot too, because you got to have trucks and planes and boats and whatnot to bring the items from point A to point B. You getting something that comes from a different country, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, China, Europe, wherever. It's got to come on the boat or a plane or a combination of both. Then it's got to go on a truck to where you at. And every step of the way, you have to have fuel to be able to bring it. And you have the Strait of Hormuz blocked up. That's going to cause more issues with travel. So yeah, Trump, I know you got a lot going on, bro. But listen, we need to get this gas below $3. I'm trying to get back to my $2.50 that I was paying like last year. To have the gas go up double, that ain't gonna do it, bro. To put gas in my vehicle is one thing, but then also I got to go to Publix and pay whatever they're gonna charge me more, because it costs them more to bring in the items that I'm gonna purchase. Anyway, Dual says, did I hear about the heart attack grill in Vegas that got shut down because of rising prices? I heard that. Yeah, I think that the owner, I saw that video. The owner was talking about he doesn't want to participate and charging the higher prices. Well, that's fine. I mean, businesses open and close all the time, and he may not have another choice. Like the choice is not going to be his, because people are not going to be able to afford to go out there who don't have the money. So the move to cater to a higher paying audience make more sense anyway, because they're going to be the only ones there, aside from those who are out there working. And if you want to be a worker out there in Vegas, you'd be able to potentially get more money because you're going to work for a place that charges more money. So it'd be a benefit overall to those who work there and those who are going to be there. The riffraff, you have fewer of that element, less of that element out there. You know, the riffraff does exist. When I was in Vegas last time, I'm seeing just weird stuff happening for no reason. Just random stuff. I mean, it's like, okay, when you go to Vegas, that's like a license to just act a complete fool. Act a complete fool. The hotel I went to, this dude got shot and killed before I got there. I'm talking about the dude got deleted. Some 5'7", Jake Lane looking dude. And by the way, Jake Lane, the guy, white power, not quite, but kind of sort of. He was a part in Jay Sixer, who has been on social media a lot talking about, white men in America this, white men in America that, a pro-white guy, which is fine to be that. But the problem is when you begin to troll and get in the way people in their regular everyday life. Anyway, he was at the hearing for Chud the Builder, and he got held in contempt of court. Well, when they booked him, his race said Hispanic. I'm like, Hispanic? You got Nick Fuentes, Jacob Lane. Where's the white guys at? Hey, has it gotten that bad for these guys? They got to outsource their spokespersons. Can we get a regular white guy? Can we get a Stephen Crowder type of person? And he's American. He's a Canadian, not even American. Can we get an American white guy? Is that too much to ask? Just like with some of these black films, can we get an American black guy? Must we have David Oyelowo and all these extra syllable last names, non-American blacks? Can we get some Americans on television? Can we get some American white guys to be able to talk about the white race? Can we get that or not? NRN says Chud unprovoked self-defense shoot. Unprovoked self-defense. Chud, that's the dumbest story that I've seen in my life. I mean, Chud, can I just say this right now? It's on my mind. I'm gonna say it, and don't nobody get offended. Chud is the N-word guy, right? The N-bomb guy. The N-I, the rest. That's that guy. That's what he does. But look at his life. Okay, bro, you in and out of jail. Multiple times you've been arrested for ticky-tack little stuff, drugs, and some kind of bank fraud. You got baby mamas, and you got a harassment case, and you're not paying your bills. It's like, bro, you the N-word. That's you. You see, I'm not out here getting sent to court, in and out of jail, baby mamas, drama, fighting the cops on the side of the road. I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm a law-abiding citizen. All right, all I'm worried about is cutting my grass, making sure everybody's good, saying yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, to everybody, showing everybody respect and love, regardless of what color they are. I don't get involved in the hood rat activities. You're never in your life going to see ABL outside squabbling. Never. If you see me outside squabbling, it's not me. It's my evil twin, and call the cops on that person. Hey, if you see me outside squabbling with somebody, it's not me. Call the cops. That's my evil twin. Call Ghostbusters. You found a ghost. Get the little ectoplasmic chamber. Hey, scoop him on up. Scoop him on up. Put him in the chamber. Put him in the bag. And get him up out of there. It's not me. I would never. Guys like this, I don't care what color they are, they're nuisances to society, and nobody likes them, whether they're black, white, Puerto Rican, the candy stripe. That's why I like going to Costco, because the riffraff is not there. It's like the Vegas thing where they're having to increase prices. The riffraff is not there. I go to Costco. It's always a great experience. People in there, they're so friendly. They recognize me sometimes, have a good conversation. And Walmart, I'm like over my shoulder looking. Do we have any crackheads in here? Am I going to get hit in the head with a bag of soap or something for no reason? Am I going to have somebody's kid throw a toy at my head? Like, what's happening in this place? I don't want to deal with it. And I don't like going to places on Sunday morning either. Y'all let your kids run rampant like roaches all over the place. Hey, give me Costco where it's peace and flowers and bright smiles and good products. That's what I like. Shout out to Costco. Costco Master Race. Hold on. But shout out to you guys. Yeah, it's paid at Costco. Exactly. That's that paywall. I like that paywall. I sure do. It's like going to a good restaurant. You might have to pay a little extra. It's not the food. It's not really worth the money that you pay. Truthfully, when you go to any restaurant, you could make the food at home for cheaper. But when you go to the restaurant, it's an experience. And I want to have a good experience. I don't want to sit next to Walmart Tavius. I don't want to smell weed. I don't want to smell any of that. That's just not what I'm into. Am I going to do a meet and greet? I'm going to try, but it's just, these things cost money. That's the only issue. If I can get some free venues, I'll do it with security. And that's going to be a tall task. Or if it could be a thing where you guys are paid, but I ain't trying to make nobody pay to go do a meet and greet. That's kind of difficult. I think the last time I was at a meet and greet that somebody had, like an influencer, I think B. Tatum had one for his book release, but I think that might have been sponsored. I don't know how he did that. He might have paid for it out of his own pocket, but that can be expensive. When you go and do meet and greets all over the country and you just paying for it, it's just kind of expensive. So if I can get some venues, if you guys know, and I've said it before, if I can get some venues for the free, we could do an exchange. Hey, if it's a free venue and I need a commercial from me or something like that, I'll do it. It's like, okay, you have your venue, you let me use it for a meet and greet, and then I do a commercial outside. Hi, I'm ABL, and this is Tony's Bar and Grill. Come get the best catfish, fried fish, all the fishes in Fresno, California. Come on out today. And if you say code ABL, you get 20% off. I'll do that for you, no problem. But I ain't gonna pay you to use your venue though, because y'all talking about some $10,000. I'm like, man, go ahead. I would never. Don't even worry about it. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. I hate smelling weed though, Robin. I hate smelling weed. If I go to a restaurant and I smell weed, like if I enter the door of the restaurant and I can smell weed, if I can detect a hint of weed in the air with my nose, I'm going to go right back out the door. It's like, you know what? Never mind. I'm in the wrong place. I'm sorry. I'm lost. I ain't know what I was doing. I thought I was going to a nice establishment. I'm in the trap house. I'm in the dope house. This is not where I got to be. I'm not trying to smell drugs in the restaurant while I'm eating. And if you got a bunch of kids in there hooting and hollering, carrying on, that's not my thing either. Okay. I understand if you got a baby or something like that, and he might cry one time, but for real, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I actually don't want to hear baby crying. I don't want to hear small children. I want to go to an upscale adult restaurant where it's nice ambiance, no weed smoke. And for that, I'll pay an extra little bit of money. Okay. That's what I'll do. Now, if I'm at here all kind of just get on this happening, how about I cook at home? That'll be what I do. Or I will go to the place. I'll order it on the interwebs. I'll go there, pick it up, and I'll leave. So I'll tolerate the weed smoke for a little while. Just enough to get in there, get my food, and be out. That's it. Jesus Joy says, ABL, write a book, then go on the book tour. There's your meet and greet. I'm with it. But see, I still got to get the venue. That's the only thing. Because I've done this before. I've done the research on this. It's just a venue. If I can get a venue, I have the book or notebook or whatever, and I can still go out there and do my thing. Matthew says, I like how they banned cigarette smoking in restaurants. Yes, that was a good move. I don't know how we were able to survive back then with the cigarette smoking in restaurants. Now, if you're a smoker, then it's fine because you're used to it. But if you're not a smoker, then it's like, ugh. I've never liked cigarette smoking in restaurants. Back in the old Pizza Hut days, that was a thing. You could just smoke in there. I've always hated it. Always, always, always. Samantha says, I smell it all the time at work. People just walk around stinking in public. They stink. They stink. And my thing is, okay, if you want to smoke weed, that's your business. I'm not trying to get in the way of your personal business, but I don't want to smell it though. Like if you are a person that drinks, I don't want to smell a barrel of whiskey every time you walk by. If you smoke cigarettes, I'm not trying to smell Marlboro, Newport 100s every time you walk by. I'm not trying to have that scent on my nose. And even if you don't smoke or drink or do anything like that, if you have offensive perfume or cologne, I don't want to smell that. Okay, I ain't trying to smell YSL or Kim Kardashian or whatever you got on your body. I don't want to have that just inflame my nostrils. That's just not really my thing. Dole says, imagine when they smoked on airplanes. Oh my goodness, they smoked on airplanes. They smoked in hospitals, all of that. Not really my thing. Track says, I picked up a pizza at some point. The music was way too loud. Oh, the loud music. Oh my goodness. Hey, I've been in the car with some people and the music just be bumping. I was like, hey, I've been like this. Like, can you please turn the music down? I'm the old guy who does that. And if you come in my neighborhood doing that, I'm coming outside. Like, is everything good? Like, y'all straight? I've done that before. I will come outside barefoot and be like, hey, what's happening? I'm that neighbor. Yes. But where I live at, that's not really a thing that happens. It's a nice subdivision. Everybody's cool. Anybody bumping their music super loud. That's just not really a thing that happens. So shout out to my neighborhood. Mr. Rich says vaping scents are bad. Oh, the vaping scents, yeah. And then the thing about it is they will vape and blow it right in your face. It's like, okay, I don't know what you got in that vape, what kind of chemicals, what kind of drugs or whatever, but whatever it is, I don't want the exhale. I don't want the exhaust. I don't want your drug smoke exhaust on my face or anywhere near me, okay? If I could smell it, that's bad enough. But then you just be like, you vape and then all in my face. It's like, sir, ma'am, because it's usually a woman, ma'am, please do not blow your blueberry mystery vape on my nose. I don't want to have that in my, I don't want to have that in my system. Riley says, I'm moving to where there are no neighbors. I hate neighbors. Hey, I'm with you. I get it. I understand. I totally understand. I like to have some neighbors because it's cool to have people that you can kind of rely on sometimes and vice versa. But I like the life of having acreage, a farm or something like that. I like that life too. Yeah, if you got like your family on the farm, I enjoy that. But I'm a single guy, so I like having people that's around. But if I had like 10 kids and all that, yeah, let's get the farm life out in the country with no neighbors. I'll be on that 100%. Now a cigar, some of y'all like cigars. I'm not a cigar guy. I've tried cigars. I had a cigar at B. Tatum's house. He's a cigar guy, but I'm not really a cigar guy. I've had cigars many times before. I just can't really get with it. But I understand how some guys like it. They go to the cigar lounge. I've been to a cigar lounge before. I've done the things with cigars, but I can't really get jiggy with it personally. But hey, if you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. All right. But shout out to you guys. I'm reading some of the comments, and then I'm gonna continue to get some videos for you. You're talking about the situation with Kyle Busch, talking about the White House, outside the White House shooting, and a few more things here. David says non-smoking sections are almost always physically next to smoking sections, making them effectively useless. I'm glad they ended it 2 decades ago, but put Denny's out of business here, unfortunately. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I never liked that because that's the way it was. The non-smoking section right next to the smoking, it'd be a little door, some kind of divider between it, but it was like you could still smell it. And a lot of times it wouldn't even be a door. It'd be some kind of archway or some kind of opening that was not enclosed. A doorway with no door. It's like, what's the purpose? The smoke is still coming out. If you're not close to it, it wasn't as bad. But if you're right next to it, you're pretty much in a smoking section. Yeah, people are crazy out here. They really are crazy out here. Banana, they're really crazy out here for sure. I remember back in the day, sometimes it was only smoking available back in those days. I'm glad that's not really a thing anymore. There's a lot of things that used to be a thing back in the day and they're not anymore. And some of us, when these things go away, they're upset. But after the upset phase stops, then they get over it. And people who come about after that have no recollection of that. Okay, so we have a picture. Okay, drum roll, please. Brrr. I don't got no drum roll on me. Hold on, do I have a drum roll here? Let me see if I got a drum roll. All right, hold on. I don't. Closest I got is this. Hold on, closest I got is this. That's not a drum roll though, so we just imagine we get a drum roll. So we have a picture of the gunman at the White House. Okay, well, outside the White House. You can already see him. Hold on, you can already see him. I spoiled it. So gunman who believed he was Jesus Christ opened fire on White House checkpoint, neutralized Secret Service. So there is Mr. Jesus himself. Nazi your best, 21 years old, opened fire on the White House checkpoint Saturday evening. That's the guy out there in D.C. who caused all the kerfuffle, all the melee, all the nonsense. Okay, so he lucky he didn't get smoked. Or actually, he did die. He's dead. He died at the hospital. Yep, that's him. So yeah, he dead. Oh well, don't shoot at the White House. Maybe you don't die. And says motive for the attack has been confirmed. Sources said Best is a mentally troubled individual who believed he was Jesus Christ and is known Secret Service and has violated a previous court order to stay away from the White House. So this is a guy who already had an issue. He was known Secret Service and the White House. So he just went too far to somehow suppose, and he's dead now. After the sound of numerous shots rang out, members of the press who were filming at the White House were seen diving for cover and were told by Secret Service to gather on the North Lawn and to run into the press briefing room. Okay, so that's what happened. Again, 21-year-old Nasir Best, mental health issues. He thought he was Jesus Christ, and he decided to shoot at the White House checkpoint outside. Secret Service shot back, and now he's dead. And I don't think anyone else is dead. I think there might have been a bystander injured, but he's the only one that died. So yeah, there we go. Exactly. R.I.P. Bozo. R.I.P. Bozo. Exactly. That's a great way to put it right there. So yeah, that's that on that. Okay. And we're going to get to this here. We got some of the reactions to the shooting. Some kind of weak survival instincts, some better than others. But before I get to anything, shout out to you guys again. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Follow my sponsors, of course. You guys were my very first sponsor, but shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or visit patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and for each long-form video I produce, I write an article, and then each article, we have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, and politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagrams, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you think you're talking to me on the internet, you're not, unless you emailed me first, contact@anthonyblogan.com. Always on the contact page of the website. If you don't remember, but if you did email me first, and I did email me back, you're not talking to me. You're talking to somebody else. Dude over in India, or one of them dudes that's piloting the Waymos in Philippines, in Quezon City. Okay, he got a wife beater on and a pair of basketball shorts with LeBron James hats. You know, it's that dude that's trying to scam you, or it's a guy over in Ukraine trying to avoid the meat grinder, trying not to go to the war, scamming you. Boris, Vladimir, one of these names. Okay, it'd be that guy, or it'd be a guy, West Africa, Nigeria, of course, nowhere else, not Ghana, not Cameroon, not nowhere. It'd be Nigeria. It'd be him. He might look just like me. It might be a twin ABL. They clone Tyrone ABL. It might be him. It might get you on the phone with him. Might do a FaceTime. But when he talks, the voice not going to be the same. The voice is going to be, it's not going to attract the same attention that my voice gets. It's not going to be me. You must understand. You don't fall for the wahala. Don't fall for the games. I beg. But yeah, he'll talk just like that, and I don't talk like that ever. That's not how I talk. That's not my voice. So don't get scammed. Don't get fooled. And I see some of y'all still get scammed. That's why I always say it. Every day I see a story of somebody getting scammed online, losing their life savings. So don't lose all your money, because it's not worth it to think that I'm going to say that I can make you rich. I cannot. Now, let's look at some of the reactions to the shooting near the White House. Again, 21-year-old, what's this guy's name again? Nasir something. Let me just pull it up one time right quick so I can say the right thing. Nasir Best, 21-year-old Nasir Best. He black. Okay, this is the guy, again, who shot outside the White House and had to get deleted by Secret Service. That's him. While this was happening, you had reporters out there reporting. Okay, now here is one of them. And RIP in advance to the headphone users.
What is that?
Sounds like fire.
Today, but this obviously comes just a couple of weeks after a shooting at the White House correspondence.
Okay, now look. Maybe she's not from a place where you have gunshots that happen, but I've heard gunshots many times before, like in real life, like it's close to you and you got to duck down. So here's what I got to say to you, young lady, and anybody watching. You guys know, anybody that's watching me right now on a Saturday night, and shout out to you guys watching, y'all know better. But some of us, hey, they're among us. They don't know. They hear gunshots rapidly. Blah, 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 blah. They're hearing gunshots, and they're like, huh? What's that? You know what I'm going to do instead of just ducking down like I should? I'm going to look. I'm going to turn my head all the way around and just look.
What is that?
Sounds like fire.
Where's the bullets coming from? Where's the lady? What you should do is get on the ground, get low as possible. You know, lay on your stomach, hand over your head, do something. Lay on the ground, get down. That's your best move because you're standing up, you're more likely to get hit by gunfire, straight gunfire. I think there was somebody that did get hit with a straight bullet. So when you're hearing gunfire, if it sounds like gunfire, you're not quite sure what it is, get on the ground, get flat on the ground, lay on your belly. Don't do this. Hold on. What's going on? What's that noise? Don't do this. Okay? Now we got another reaction here.
Memorial.
Shout out to him. Shout out to Asian bro. All right, let's watch this.
Memorial Day since 2022. President Trump promises the prices will go down, but his grip on Republican support on Capitol Hill is weakening.
Okay. Now, he had a better reaction. He had to complete his sentence, but it's better reaction. He kind of like understood what was going on. You got to get on the ground or get low.
Memorial Day since 2022. President Trump promises the prices will go down, but his grip on Republican support on Capitol Hill is weakening.
All right. It's weakening. Yes, it is. All righty. There we go. Much better. Much better. Okay. If it's ABL and I'm hearing that, I'm going to be looking like, hey, flat on the ground, like a pancake, starfish on the ground. That's going to be me. Now, I think she might have had the best reaction so far. I'm sure there's plenty of reactions that I've not seen, but this, I think, is the best so far. This is going to be, hold on, what's his name? Her name is Selena Wang or Wang. You said it wrong, ABL. I'm so sorry. I don't speak the Chinese or whatever. You know what I mean? But anyway, Selena Wang with ABC News, senior Wise correspondent. Check it out.
That President Trump has said a deal is close, only for the two sides to remain far apart.
No.
That President Trump has said a deal is close.
Much better.
Only for the two sides to remain
She
far
hears it,
apart.
and then she gets on the ground. Okay, she hears it. You see the eyes get real big, and then boom. Now I'm impressed. She's Asian, and them eyes got real big. And them eyes got real big for an Asian lady. I got small eyes too, so I know how it is. I got kind of like Asian-y eyes a little bit, so I know how to. They can't get that big. So for it to get that big, I'm very impressed.
Only for the two sides to remain far apart.
All right, there we go. So yeah, get on the ground, get out the way. Don't do no talking. Don't try to like. What's that noise? What's going on? Where's it coming from? Get on the floor. All right, and RP to the headphone users. This is going to be chat Pergram from Fox News talking about what happened.
I'm told that a gunman came up near the White House on the west side, what is described to me as Gate 17. This is kind of near 14th Street on the west side of the White House, and came up and brandished some sort of a pistol. We don't know what type of pistol it was, but he then fired toward the White House 3 times. And the United States Secret Service, they returned fire. We don't know how many shots that they got off, and they apparently took the gunman down. I'm told that...
All right, there we go. So the gunman down over there by, what was that, Gate 17 on the west side of the White House. He brandishes a pistol, starts shooting, and then he gets shot and he dead. So there we go. RIP to him. I think that's all the news from that, I believe, is everything. Let me make sure I got everything I wanted to get to. So yeah, that's it. So the one bystander was hit and seriously wounded, but that's it. I don't think anybody else was hit except for the shooter, and he dead. He died in the hospital. All right, now, I want to show this because I want to show what some of these young guys are talking about. I think a lot of young people don't understand how to talk to adults. This is going to be about a candidate running for governor in Florida, Jay Collins. Now, this is not an endorsement. I think Byron Donalds is the guy, and I think Byron Donalds will win. But this guy's also running, and he's talking to people that support James Fishback for governor. Now, I've done a story on James Fishback, and just a TLDR, too long didn't read, TLDR. James Fishback is running for governor as a Republican. He's kind of like a racist guy. He'll say like little racist stuff to get young guys to like him because it's edgy, and they like these edgy kind of, dweeby dudes. They like that. So he runs like this. But James Fishback, he also has a thing. He wants to have like a OnlyFans tax, 50% on OnlyFans girls. Silly stuff that the young guys are going to like. Well, James Fishback also had an issue where he was grooming a minor, allegedly. So he had a program where it was a debate program, a debate prep program for high school and middle school students. Now, one of his workers was a high school, at the time, she was a high school student. He was well into his 20s. And they met when she was 16. Now, they become close, and they wind up living together. At 18, he says that's when sex happened. But in my humble opinion, that was called grooming. You had one of your students, basically, in your high school program, and you groomed her. So it was a whole big thing. It was in court and everything else, but a lot of young guys like him because he's saying things that they like. The Jews this, the Jews that kind of rhetoric, right? The rhetoric that appeals to your basement dweller. Now, this guy was asked about some things, and here you're saying, hey, are you a Fishback guy? Because the Fishback guys are going to be the ones who ask him about the Jews and getting money from Israel, that Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly type of stuff, Candace Owens type rhetoric. Let's watch some of this, and then I'll show you some more to put it in full context.
Are you a Fishback person?
Yeah, actually.
Right, so hold up, sit down. We're not going to play games here. Put the phone off, turn it off, and listen. Are you a Fishback?
Now that right there, they were trying to say that was a harsh reaction. That was that was the wrong thing to do. But really, he did the exact right thing. I'll play it one more time, and then I'll give my commentary afterward.
Are you a Fishback person?
Yeah, actually.
Right, so hold up, sit down. We're not going to play games here. Put the phone off, turn it off, and listen.
So, hey, sit down, take the phone off, put the phone off, and listen. That's how they got to get talked to. They need to get talked to that way because these kids, they're not listening any other way. They're in their phone. They're trying to go viral. They're trying to create some kind of moment. But once the fun goes away and you have their attention, you're better able to communicate to them. But without that, when they just want to interact all the time, it's like arguing with a young woman. It's just impossible. Anyway, let's keep on going. Now, here's the same guy being asked by these same people, by your James Fishback crowd, the I Hate Israel crowd, the You Get Money from the Jews, that crowd. He's being asked about funding from AIPAC.
Know if we're going to continue sending money to Israel.
We?
How? Governor Ron DeSantis has taken money from AIPAC, and I believe it was after the October 7th attack, we allocated about, I believe it was 80 million to Israel.
Right, because we had American citizens in harm's way. You know, we actually brought home American citizens on a plane. Have you ever been there when someone thought they were going to lose their life? Have you been to war?
No.
Have you watched someone get ripped in half by a missile, by a rocket, or die in front of you?
No, I'm 17.
Good. So you should listen. Here's the facts, man. Just this last June, I flew to Israel to bring home 2,300 American citizens. Our state put money into it. 2,300 American citizens came home, and I would do it again today. If good people fail to stand up and protect our people, all is already lost. So if you want to play games with that, by all means. That's not pro-Israel, that's pro-America. Being pro-America and America first doesn't mean you turn off the world around you. If we don't have allies, you know what's going to happen? The enemy will be on our doorstep today, tomorrow, another day, and they're going to try to kill our people and destroy our way of life. I'm tired of the games. Being pro-America is not being anti-Israel. Being pro-America and America first is doing what's right no matter how hard. Hard stop. If you doubt our equivocation, our approach, if you think we're equivocating, that's gamesmanship, man.
All right, there we go. So shout out to him. Yeah, I'm right there with him. This whole Israel thing, I don't know. It's like a Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, that kind of Nick Fuentes. It's kind of weird. I think the whole thing is a way to try and drive young voters away from the Republican Party, because when you're a young person, you're more likely to lean Democrat and to believe in their ideology. So if they're able to get you with something that you believe in, that you can kind of like sink your teeth into, they're able to use that to make you go the other direction. Then they bring in the guy who's saying all the right things that attaches to what you've been brainwashed to believe by your Nick Fuentes, by your Candace Owens. And once that guy comes in there, they're able to get them to vote for them. But that's a tale as old as time, because young people are always likely to vote Democrat. In the case of Thomas Massey out there in Kentucky, they said it, 55 and up voted for Massey, 55 or 45 really and below. Well, I would say probably 30 and below, but let's say 40 and below voted for 55 and up voted for Ed Galrine, and below that voted for Massey, because Massey appealed more to young people who lean more Democrat, and Ed Galrine appealed to those who are older and are actually wanting a Republican to be in there. That's the way it always has been for as long as I can remember. All right, let's keep on going here. Now, this is the same guy being confronted about that very first video where he told that guy to sit down and turn the phone off and listen.
Mr. Collins, how you doing? Do you have any regrets or remorse for what you said to that 17-year-old kid and you're a little aggressive to him?
Yeah, no. So, no, I don't, and here's why.
Okay.
I almost died for our nation. I buried friends. If we don't start teaching these young men and women that a sociopath
What's that got to do with the
Let me finish
question?
what I'm saying.
You don't
I'm
have to
tell
talk
you.
to me like I'm a kid.
I'm going to tell you. Let me finish.
Okay, you go ahead and finish.
If we don't start teaching kids, there is a responsibility to step up. That there's a responsibility to protect. A responsibility to do the right thing. He has to hear that.
Dude, he had a genuine question, though. Don't you think he just asked an honest question about Israel funding?
No,
and you came over and were like, sit down. You were like very, dude, it was a little aggressive.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was actually.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, that was wrong, and so is all the money we send to Israel. And you'll never win an Israel First campaign in Florida.
Yeah, I'm not running Israel first. I'm running in America first.
How come the governor hasn't endorsed you?
Well, who did he handpick? Did he handpick?
Has he spoke about you publicly in 9 months?
He has.
He has?
See, look, you know what? That right there, I don't like talking to young. I think I like Charleston White, what he said. I don't like talking to young guys too much when they don't want to listen, or anybody in general. If you're not going to listen, if you ask me a question, let me get my answer out. Let me get my answer out. Don't interrupt me. And if you're not, let me get my answer out, and you want to interrupt, that means you're not trying to have a conversation. You're trying to just prove your point because you think you're right and you got it all figured out. But I'm here to tell you that you don't. None of us do. So whenever I'm able to listen to somebody answer my question, I want to listen and take in all of what they're saying to me. And I don't care if they're a young person, old person, my age, or whatever. I want to hear their answer. And if I don't, I'm not going to ask them a question. That's basic common sense. But yeah, shout out to him. And I think, again, Byron Donalds going to win, but that same kind of mentality is present a lot. You know, I talk to young guys that's kind of like that. They don't want to listen. Now, speaking of young guys that don't want to listen, this is one of the pictures of the Islamic Center shooter, Caleb Velasquez, and you can see what's going on here. You already see what it is. All right. So this is him on an Etsy review. And that little baby doll right there, that little toy, I read that's a based racist doll from Netherlands, I think. So you're just on the internet too much, you know, playing with baby dolls and stuff like that when you're in your 20s. That kind of mentality can go a lot of different ways. You could go transgender, school shooter, or both. And I think when we see the trans people that do stuff like that, they kind of have this thing going on. They're not really rooted in reality. They get radicalized online. And then at that point, they could pretty much do anything. They're capable of doing anything. And we saw the same thing with the guy who was at the White House. Remember, Cold Force? His Twitter avatar was like that. Let me see if I can find it right quick. His Twitter avatar was like that. I can't find it off the rip right here. But y'all know what I'm talking about, though. Burrito Boy. This guy right here was basically the same thing. Okay, same. And at a certain point, once you're able to identify that pattern, you're able to see what someone could do before they do it. So if you got any friends and family, they're talking crazy, he's 21 years old, playing with baby dolls, I'm calling the cops. If I got a nephew or something that's talking weird, you know, doing weird dances online, baby dolls, I'm like, yo, yeah, you want to come get this guy? Because something ain't right. He's up to something. Okay, I don't know what it is, but I went by the room the other day and I heard, I'm hearing like anime girl sounds and him dancing with a mask on and some camouflage. That's a problem. Now, what they could also do when they get these young guys is radicalize them, aside from becoming, you know, a school shooter, transgender, or both. They could also go down the Muslim road. And shout out to my Muslims out there, but y'all know what I'm talking about. They could become an extremist. Now, if you're just a regular person, you're doing all that, okay, that's one thing. But we know we got the Aloha Snap Bar guys that want to go blow themselves up in the grocery store and, you know, shoot stuff up, blow stuff up, ram their car into people at a market in Europe. We know they exist. And not to mention the assaults on women. But this is what could happen in a place like New York, as it has happened, in my opinion, in a place like London and all over UK.
Big Mom Donnie is practicing takia.
1,000%. 1,000%.
He's presenting
the Muslims are laughing at you guys. Like, this is the funniest thing. Like, dude, give it 50 more years, entire New York's gonna be Muslim, and then before you know, it's gonna be Sharia courts, and then like y'all are. It's like it's like shooting yourself in the foot. Like I can't even believe. And like you see Europe, you look at Europe, it's happening right now, and then you're like, oh, let's just do it here in New York. Like it's like no, like you have to stop. Like obviously takia is working, and they're doing an amazing job at it, and they're fooling everyone. Like, and all the Muslims are like so happy that's happening. Like this is the best thing that could happen in Islam, and he's gonna win because we're too stupid. Like, no matter how many times ex-Muslims will say, takia is a real thing, they are lying to you. They will take over within 100 years.
Now, this guy right here is an ex-Muslim, former Muslim, talking about takia. Takia is a practice in Islam where they're allowed to lie to you because they want to fulfill their narrative, fulfill their purpose. They're allowed to lie to you. And in the other instance, it'd be haram. Now, they got all kind of little loopholes, right? Because it's a lot of things that are haram, but it's okay when, you know, I got a good excuse why I'm doing this. You know, that boy in the background with the girl clothes on. Hey, don't worry about that, bro. You know, I got a little loophole in my religion that allows for that. It's like, oh, okay, all right, don't worry about it. But yeah, what you don't want is for your nation to become Islamized because it'll die. They don't have a culture in the extreme, especially that allows for development and freedom in the way that we have in the West. This is why the Iranians want the Islamic regime out. They don't want them in there. And it's not necessarily about being a religious bigot or a bigot against a certain religion. It's about that way of living, that way of ruling is not desired by the majority of people in a modern place. You want to be in Bhutheadistan and be Muslim is fine, because these guys are still stuck in the year 800 AD. But if you want to be in 2026 with a modern technology and society, then that kind of rule cannot persist, in my humble opinion. All right, let's keep going here. So this is going to be part of the hearing for Chud, the builder out there in Clarksville, where Jake Lang, a well-known provocateur, got himself arrested for not shutting his trap when he was told to by the judge. Hey, check it out. That whole freedom of speech thing, you can't just say whatever you want to say whenever you want to say it. Freedom of speech is about you and the government's relationship. The government cannot lock you up for saying unpopular things. But if you're in court and you want to act up and speak out of turn, there is a thing called contempt of court. You can get locked up for that, or you can get a fine, or a combination of both. Okay, you want to say fire in a theater, that's going to be a threat. You're calling somebody's phone 1,000 times. You're trying to swatting, that's also a crime. If you call the police and tell them that ABL got a bunch of kids in the basement tied up and all this and that and the third, go get them. If you say that and ain't nothing like that going on, you were just trying to swat me, that's a crime right there. You can't just say whatever you want to say whenever you want to say it, and people got to go to court and figure that out for themselves. Or they might go to the penitentiary and figure it out. When Walmartavius is your cellmate, you'll learn at that point. When Walmartavius has you wrapped up like a baby and he's doing Pilates and yoga and jazzercise with you as a body weight, at that point you'll learn. But here we are at the bond hearing, and Jake Lang, a provocateur, showed up. Check it out.
All right, for the record, Mr. Eathley is now in the courtroom with
Your Justice.
All right, take him into custody.
So look, right here, he was being kicked out for being unruly, and as he's leaving, he had to have one more comment. He said, two-tier justice system. Okay, that's enough. Now you're about to get locked up. Imagine that. And I think he got like a fine of like, it's like a total like $1,300 for the fine, because you got the fine plus court fees and all kind of stuff. Grand total, $1,300. And you about to get 10 days in jail because you could not shut up when you were told to by the judge. You're in the court of law. You're not just outside on the street corner. You can't say whatever you want and do whatever you want in here. And the judge must do this, because if the courtroom is unruly, then you can't do a trial like that. That's why there are certain things that exist, like contempt of court, to keep the courtroom under control, to get idiots like this to get up out of there so they're able to have proceedings and give him, Chud, a fair and speedy trial. You cannot have a fair and speedy trial with morons like this when they go in there and disrupt. What he said two-tier justice system. That's what he said.
I told you, sir, you did not have a speaking role today. You decided that you wanted one for whatever reason. I don't know why, but take him into custody.
Now, let's go back a little bit. I'm going to show you his face. Now, if I told you this guy was Hispanic, would you believe me? If I told you this guy was Hispanic, would you believe me? Okay, I'm going to play this a little bit, and then I'm going to show you something right quick.
You did not have a speaking role today. You decided that you wanted one for whatever reason. I don't know why, but take him into custody. However, anybody on that side of the bar does not have a speaking role in any of these proceedings today. There's not going to be any hoopla or shenanigans from the gallery. You're going to be removed, and I'll talk about that in a second.
Reasonable to have a gag order on the defendant should he make bond, and I guess even while he's in the jail and has his, I don't know, iPad or whatever, but he cannot live stream, post, or anything that indirectly or directly encompasses these offenses.
So it's a gag order on Chud, no live streaming, no posts, and no nothing, because that's why he's in jail to begin with. You know, the live streaming, the rage bait streaming, the hate bait streaming. That's why he's in jail to begin with, if he's able to make bond. Now, there was a company called Dual. I guess it's like a gambling company. They said they got that money to be able to pay the bond in full, $1 million. But he cannot use his GoFundMe money, Gibson Go money, because it was not raised for that purpose. If you raise money for one purpose and use it for another purpose, it's called fraud. He raised the money for help take care of his son and all kind of stuff, but not to pay for his bond. And I think it's also against their rules on Gibson Go to do that. So he cannot use the money for that purpose. Now, Jake Lane, back to him. This guy right here just got himself locked up for contempt. Okay. Hispanic, white Hispanic. Is that what's going on? So what's going on with that? You're racist white, as all Hispanics are under the legal system in the USA, but you're Hispanic? Is that the truth, Jake Lang? Mr. Captain White Man, that's you, the Hispanic? I don't understand, but hey, it is what it is. You know, one thing I'm going to say is that you can't believe whatever you hear on the internet. You can't believe what people do on social media. Don't believe it. Just take it for a grain of salt. Take it for entertainment. Like that lady, Cheyenne Bryant, there's a whole big kerfuffle about that. Oh, she's not really a real doctor. If you take advice from a podcast doctor, then that's your fault. Okay, go to a real doctor in a real environment and check their credentials before you even go. Don't go to somebody, listen to their advice because they say they're a doctor on the podcast. Okay, a doctor on the podcast like a doctor on TV, like Dr. Phil. Anyway, here is a little bit of Jake Lang before this whole thing happened. Now, are you going to tell me that we got two white guys right here? I see one Mexican guy and one white guy. I'm seeing straight up Nordic, one of my great granddaddy's kids right here. And right here, I'm seeing Rico Suave. I'm seeing Jose Calderon. I'm seeing Ranchero.
What do you think about race mixing?
God does not approve of it. In the Bible, he separated us by nations and tongues. And in the end of days, he said, I will call forth the nations, meaning he wants our people. Mexicans remain Mexican. Japanese remain Japanese.
Why did he say Mexicans first? Because he's Mexican. That's why. Let me start from the top.
What do you?
So he said that he doesn't believe in any race mixing, but yet I see Iberian Peninsula and Native American. His grandma looks straight like the lady from Family Guy. No, he no hair. No. That's what she'll be. Anyway.
What do you think about race mixing?
God does not approve of it. In the Bible, he separated us by nations and tongues. And in the end of days, he said, I will call forth the nations, meaning he wants our people. Mexicans remain Mexican. Japanese remain Japanese. He does not want us to lose any of our culture.
I'm someone that's super about the movement, but also I'm in love with Latino. What should I do?
Well, go down to Mexico and do your sex tourism like everybody else does. America's for Christians, it's for white people, and it's not for this degeneracy.
So, what do y'all think? Is he Mexican, some kind of Hispanic, regular white guy? Because I'm seeing two guys that claim to be white. Now, one of them looks straight like he came from United Kingdom, Denmark, something like this, right? Your name is Lars Olenson, or your name is Hugh Jackson III. This guy right here, I don't know, man. My Mexi radar is tingling. My Mexi senses are tingling. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now look, the future of guys like Jake Lang and his ilk on the internet is going to be this guy. And please pardon the cussing. I'm so sorry. If you got little kids or whatnot, you got virgin ears, please cover your ears. But that will be the future for you when you keep going down this road.
I'm a motherfucking man, bitch. Get out of my face. Fuck you, you fucking look like white people are the bad motherfuckers. Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Bring them on, bitches. Get the fuck out of here, son. Get the fuck out of my face. Man, I was fucking evil.
I need somebody ASAP.
I'm a motherfucking white man. Hello! Hello! Okay. Come on up, brother. Come on me, motherfucker.
Okay, you're the white man. All righty. Okay. Hey, whatever you say, bro. Whatever you say. You know what I mean? Now, what I don't want for you guys watching is for that to be you in the future. And Best Buy screaming at these workers, I'm the white man. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations. Now you about to get arrested, kicked out of Best Buy. This right here is very inwardly. And y'all know what I mean. Not INWARD, but N/-WORDLY. Inwardly. That's what you're doing right there. And you would never see you would never see me drunk, like drunk, acting the fool. I'm the black man, I'm the white man. You would never see ABL doing that. And I know you guys would never do that. I know y'all would never, I would never see any of y'all in public just acting up like that for no reason. Okay. Yeah, come get grandpa. Come get pawpaw. All right. Come get pawpaw because he's been drinking. He has been drinking. All right. But let's keep on going here. Okay, now I'm gonna show this, and I know people are gonna get mad. But Ben Shapiro, look, hold on. Don't turn. I'm gonna play some of this because it needs to be heard by some people. We get the message because we're on the same page here. But some people, maybe your nephew, okay, your cousin, somebody, your friend might need to hear the message. And this is the same message that I had to get told about the white man. Because when I was young, it was easy to blame the white man. I'm young. I don't have no money. I don't know where I'm going in my life. You know why? It's because the white man. But then once you get past that and realize that you're United States of America, you're in the USA, and you're a U.S. citizen, you have so much opportunity to become somebody in this country, to become somebody in this world. Blaming the white man does nothing but just block you from your own blessings. And the same way, blaming the Jews and blaming Israel blocks you from your own blessings. You're using that as a crutch to prevent yourself from doing better in your life.
Conspiratorial grievance mongering is a sexy idea. It is. It's great. Because it means that you're never responsible for your own actions. It means that your life sucks and you're single and you're in your mom's basement and you're fat and all these things. But there's nothing you can do about that because of the Jews. Right? Your incurable gingivitis is because of Bibi Netanyahu. And if you watch enough hours of Nick Fuentes, talking about cat boys or whatnot, then eventually you'll end up more successful, or at least you'll feel better about yourself. And to a lot of people, again, it's not a left-wing, right-wing thing. It's just it's an envy thing. When people feel bad about their lives, they look for a place to blame. And when there's a conspiratorial group of people with a large platform who are going to give you a place to blame, then it's easy to go there.
Exactly. Now there's more, but I don't want to play the entire thing. Check it out on my ex Twitter. But that's right on point though. And I said it. Y'all heard me say it before. The Jews are the white man's white man, and now it's like the young person's boogeyman, because it's not really about the white man. It's like I hear that same thing, the Jews argument, from everybody now. And people listening to Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, they get brainwashed by that. That's kind of what's going on. The shooters that went and did the San Diego thing, they were inspired by this, by the whole Jew hate thing. And it was crazy because they hit a mosque. It's like, okay, you hate the Jews, but you hit a mosque. Silly. Now, I know his voice may not be as soothing as you would like, but what he said right there is right on point. I was saying the same thing for a very long time.
Young people.
Now, speaking about religion and stuff like this, there's a renaissance that I'm seeing of young people going to church. So this might be some good news. Shout out to all the churchgoers out there. And you know what? The thing about church is a great thing. Christianity is a great thing when everybody's on the same page and everybody is really about that, when they're serious about their faith. If they're serious about their faith and they really want to get with somebody, their potential husband or wife, and they can do that together in the community where they do it together, is great. But when there's corruption, when there are things that get in the way, when there's things that interrupt their process, that's when there can be some issues. But let's watch this. Church resurgence among Gen Z. They are going to church more than boomers.
Young people in New York City are lining up to go to church. This is St. Joseph's in Greenwich Village, and on Sunday nights it's completely packed. We're talking folding chairs in the aisles, people squeezed into the foyer, balcony steps full, and standing room only for a 6 p.m. mass. But the night actually starts around the corner right here. Every Sunday evening, around 200 people gather here for pizza before walking over to church. They're calling it Pizza to Pews. While some people live in the neighborhood, other people will drive in all the way from Long Island or even take the train from Boston. And this is part of something much bigger. Gen Z now goes to church more than boomers do. A lot of the young people I spoke to said the same thing. In a big city, they wanted to build a connection with God and find a community. Some people are also not so secretly looking to find a spouse. Last month, the priest actually addressed it from the pulpit. God isn't the only reason why people are showing up, he said. There's also the excitement of falling in love with a pretty girl. Young people in New York.
There we go. So shout out to them. Shout out to the Gen Z out there going to church. It's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I like it. I like it a lot. They're turning away from a lot of what is out there, a lot of the vices, a lot of the chaos, a lot of the destruction. So I like it a lot. That's a very good thing. Shout out to them. What do y'all think? Y'all with it? You kind of skeptical? I think that it's a good thing. I'm optimistic that they're going to be able to go to church and become better for it. But I just hope, here's my only thing that I could say as far as being a skeptic. I hope that they're not going to these woke churches, not where they got these female pastors and bishops and LGBTQ element of P, X, Y, and Z, because at that point, it could be worse than not going to church, in my humble opinion. All right. And it's okay to find somebody that you want to be with, that you want to be married to at church. That's the best place because you guys are on the same page. You guys are trying to do the right thing. You're breaking away from the ills of society and you want to really just press forward in a positive way. I think it's a great thing that you can meet somebody at church to be with. It's better than going to, somebody said it, better than going to Tinder or to the nightclub or something like this. Okay, much better. And then also, you don't want to harass somebody in the public space where they may not be open to your advances. But if you're in church, and let's say you do like a church's singles group, that's perfect because everybody's in there wanting what you want. And you are similarly minded, culturally similar, same religion. It's perfect. And they're young, which is best time to try and do something like that. So yeah, shout out to them. All right, now. We got some UFOs, UAPs. There's been a new tranche of UFO files released. Now, what do y'all think about the UFO files? Do you think that we're just being fed a bunch of garbage? I'm going to tell you what I think about the UFO files as we see this right here. I think this might have been over some water, like open ocean. So, yeah. I'm not sure if you're looking at what's happening right here with these or on the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see it. See that? Things that are flying in the way that you can't really explain. I think that we are seeing some real UFOs, UAPs, but we're not getting the whole shebang. We're not getting the whole thing. Shout out to Drake with the shebang. We're not getting the entire thing. We're getting bits and pieces like drip fed. We're not getting the whole thing. I want to see the aliens. I want to see all the species. It's talking about some of those 4 species. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah. These things are cool, but I want to see more. Society may not be prepared to see more, but I am. I'm ready. It's whatever. Show me whatever you got. I'm ready for it. So here's one going very fast, and you're going to see it at a certain point zip off. You look, it changes direction and just zips off. Look at that right there. So it's going one way, and then you're going to see it go up and then zip, just like vanish. Like that right there is not possible with our knowledge of physics, the way we understand it. But apparently there's something else that has other physics. Now, again, these are videos from the UFO files released by President Trump's administration, released by the DOJ. These are real files that our government has and they're releasing to us. Okay, here's something else. And what do y'all think about the UFO files? Do you think we're just seeing nonsense? And I think this right here is going to be an oil rig out in the water. That's what it looks like. You see, it appears to be some kind of rig or some kind of platform out there in the water. All right, and you're gonna see something happen right here in the sky. Do y'all think that we are seeing real things? I was seeing comments, oh, those are just birds. It's not really a real UFO. It's just, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think, is it AI, Mr. Rich? Grainy pictures, AI. What do y'all think? Jeff says, I believe in UFOs when Spock comes out of his spaceship. I get it. I totally understand. I'm in the same thing. It's like, okay, if you really want to convince me that we have a UFO issue, then show me the green space alien on the lawn of the White House. Show me the UFO that will descend upon the White House and Mr. Alien just pops out and start talking telepathically. At that point, okay, maybe it'll make sense. But beyond that, I don't really know. Okay, I'm gonna go forward here a little bit. That's the object we're looking at. Some kind of humanoid, some kind of shapeshifter, some kind of something. I don't know what that is right there. You can see it's shapeshifting. So I don't know what that is. I don't know what it could be. That's why it's unidentified, right? Unidentified aerial phenomena. And that's probably part of the reason why they changed it from unidentified flying object to unidentified aerial phenomena, because that's not flying, but it's in the air and you don't know what it is. So what is that? Is that a humanoid up there doing a dance, just kind of chilling, crossing his legs? Like, what is that? If y'all know what this is or what it could be or what you think it is, y'all let me know. I always have alien dreams. Or I don't have alien dreams. I have some alien dreams, and I have dreams that are just kind of like, I have symbolic dreams. If I oversleep, like normal, I get about 5 to 6 hours of sleep. If I get 6 hours of sleep, I'm good. If I sleep like 8 hours or more, then I have symbolic dreams. But if I get my regular sleep, I might have one dream, maybe no dreams, and sometimes it'll be about an alien or some kind of supernatural thing. But I'm the kind of guy, I always have some kind of alien stuff playing when I go to bed anyway. So that's probably part of the reason why I have those kind of dreams. But if I wake up at 6 hours, like I normally do, and go back to sleep for an hour, I have a crazy kind of like a symbolic dream. I have those if I go to sleep for another couple hours beyond the 6 hours. All right. Let's keep going here. Now, this one reminded me of Interstellar. Not Interstellar. It reminded me of Prometheus. Remember in the beginning where they had the scene where they put the cup in the water, or he drank the cup and then he died, and then he went into the water, and then he created life on Earth. This reminds me of when they had the UFO that had left out of the clouds, like vertically. See, look, right here in the top left-hand corner. Look how it goes into the cloud. See? That's a pretty big object, too. So they zooming in right here. And look, it kind of goes through the cloud seamless. It's like there's no propulsion system or nothing on it. It's just moving freely. Moving freely with no restriction at all. Okay, there's the original video. Let me see if they can see. Look, there it is. Oop. In and out of the clouds. What is that? So I think there's something going on there, but I don't really know. Now, on Fox News, we're talking about the species of alien. Jesse Waters talking about we got 4 species: the Nords, the reptilians, the mantis, and the grays.
We are not alone. The Pentagon released the UFO files a few weeks back, and we just found out over 1 billion people have visited the site. 1 billion. It's got to be a record. The War Department says more files will be released soon. UFO experts and top researchers have been investigating aliens for years. Their sources say dozens of crashed UFOs have been recovered, and what they found inside, shocking.
And do people think that there's one type of non-human intelligence that's visiting the Earth, or is there many, many types?
People who have been involved in recoveries have said
there are at least 4 separate types. Now, I have not had direct access to that, but I believe the people who I talked to.
4 different types of life.
4 different types of life.
4 different species of aliens. Another scientist called them greys, Nordics, insectoids, and reptilians. All of them have 2 arms and 2 legs, just like us. Experts speculate the reptilians are scaly with long tails like a lizard. Insectoids look like a praying mantis. The greys look like your classic movie alien, and the Nordics look like a regular Swedish guy.
Now, I think that those are species that have been seen, but I think there's a lot more. And I don't think that all the aliens are even what you could consider a being that you can see. Like, it ain't just like you're always going to be able to have some kind of body in front of you. I think it's a lot deeper than that. So, and some say that the greys are like AI or drones or something like that. They're not even really biological. They're somewhat biological, like a puppet, kind of, sort of, with consciousness. I don't want to get too deep into it, but basically, they're saying there's 4, but they're saying that for TV. They're only going to let so much out on television. They're not going to say the whole thing. I think there's a lot more, and there's some things that we have no idea. We can't even really comprehend. All right. So that's what's up. That's what's going on. Now, here's Tim Burchett saying, you know what? We still got more to come. There's still more.
One lawmaker who has long called for UAP transparency isn't starstruck by the releases.
The stuff they're dropping right now is just, I mean, this is the deep state classic. You know, they won't show y'all some of the stuff that we've seen. They're going to show.
One lawmaker who is.
All right, there we go. So he's saying that they're not showing the whole thing. Of course they're not. They can't. Like, the stuff that they see in the government, we're never going to be able to see. Yeah, that's just not really a thing. Now, speaking about paranormal activity, did you guys see this? Did you guys see this situation with this guy? They said he had a mask on. Now, I'm going to just play it with no sound so you can see. This is just somebody on Fox News talking during a news segment, and his neck area, right where his collar is, his shirt collar, it looks kind of strange. Like, what is this right here? What's going on with this flap? This is a real footage, real video. What's going on with that flap, bro? Now, I don't know what's happening. Some say it was a mask, and the mask is just not all the way affixed to his body. The shirt is not covering it up. Hold on. Excuse me. They got an alien playing with me. But anyway, what do I think that is? Is that just a shadow? Is it a mask? I don't know. When I first saw it, I'm thinking, okay, it's a shadow. It's just lighting. But it looks like you got a shadow up under. It's like it's a flap right there. And as he's talking, the flap is moving kind of strange. The flap is moving independently from the rest of his body. And the shadow wouldn't really make it do that. So what do y'all think? Is that a really high-tech mask he has on? Are we dealing with an alien right there? Because sometimes they say, hey, you know what? It could be an alien right in front of you and you wouldn't even know it. It'd be a whole reptilian right in front of your face looking just like that. They had that in Men in Black too, remember? The dude with the roach costume on. It's the same kind of deal. Same kind of deal. Insectoid with a human costume on. It looks something like that. Now, do y'all think it's just a shadow or is it a mask? What is that? I don't know. That's a unidentified TV phenomena, UTP. Probably a mask Biden put on. It's loose skin, too many facelifts. It's tore when putting it on. How was light coming from under the bottom of the shadow? That's what I'm saying. This is a mask, but the video's okay. Not a mask. He used to live in Iran, special ops. Hey, I don't know what's going on with that skin right there, but it's a little off. Now, speaking about a little off, Hunter Biden, Candace Owens, you interview Hunter Biden. I know you're watching me too. Why would you interview Hunter Biden? A dope fiend? Listen, I don't trust anything a crack smoker says. I don't care. Oh, ABL, show grace. I can show grace. It's okay. You're in recovery. Congratulations. Meanwhile, you're still a crackhead. Nah, because I grew up with crackheads. I was in the house living with a crackhead before. So I know what they do. I know how they think. These people are not to be trusted. I mean, they can be good people, but ultimately they make bad decisions. They're going to tell you a lie on occasion, and they can at any point relapse, and you don't even know it. their change, their damage from their crack use. Now, what we're going to do right here, we're going to see a quick meme from Maze on the Twitter. Shout out to Maze, M-A-Z-E. This is a meme about Hunter, if you don't know. Then we're going to get into Candace Owens' interview with Hunter, which was crazy. It was like Oprah. It was a mess. It was a total mess.
How's my protege? I went one time for 13 days without sleeping and smoking crack and drinking vodka exclusively throughout that entire time. I probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anyone.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Yeah, I'm a Biden. We cried too much.
Yeah. I rode my bike over to a cemetery nearby. Her boyfriend just died. Yeah, I'll throw in a wedding every now and then, but funerals are insane.
Overwhelming grief.
The chicks are so horny, it's not even fair. Yeah, crazy horny.
Grief turned into a hope for a love.
Grief is nature's most powerful aphrodisiac.
Trust in the process.
Saturday. I got one Saturday. You're coming with.
Yeah.
How's my
All right, shout out to Will Ferrell and shout out to Hunter Biden, the crack smoker. That was a great little mashup, Maze. Great meme. But that's pretty much Hunter Biden in a nutshell, okay? That's him right there, 100%. He would have been great in that movie. He would have fit right in. His real life would have been great for the movie. Now, Candace. Okay, I know a lot of you guys don't like Candace. I don't like showing Candace. Shout out to Candace if you're watching. But I don't like showing you content, okay? But if you're watching, shout out to you. I know you're watching. Let's watch some of this.
So I want to just sort of get into the Hunter Biden story. I will say to the audience right now, I have already made the pledge right when I got on the phone with you that, like, obviously I'm not going to make you say anything bad about your father because that would just be completely demonic.
Demonic? So you got Hunter, but under the condition there was no Joe Biden questions. If I got Hunter Biden, I'm going to ask you about Joe Biden, the former president of the United States, former vice president for 2 times under Barack Obama. I'm going to ask about your father. Like, there's no way I'm not going to ask about Joe Biden. But of course, the only way you could have got him is if you made that promise. Let's start from the top.
So I want to just sort of get into the Hunter Biden story. I will say to the audience right now, I have already made the pledge right when I got on the phone with you that, like, obviously I'm not going to make you say anything bad about your father because that would just be completely demonic to be like, say something terrible about your father. Everyone knows my opinions, my political perspectives. They're already out there. He is your dad. So that is separate from my viewpoints.
Because there's no way I possibly could.
Yeah, of course. I totally get that.
All right, there we go. So softball interview, Oprah, you know, I don't see anybody watches it really. I don't see how anybody really can stomach it. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, a little bit more, just a little teeny bit, just a little teeny bit, so you understand what's going on. Then I'm gonna move on to Nick Shirley, and Nick Shirley being proven right because the Somalis got arrested that he was investigating.
Idea that you feel unsafe in the United States of America because you disagree with the current administration on a issue that 70% of Americans agree with you on.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop the wholesale murder of a population in Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
See, there we go. Israel, Jews. Of course, right? Because that's what she does at this particular point. And that rhetoric appeals to the younger audience who don't know any better. Young and dumb, just like I was when I was young. That rhetoric appeals to them. So then you make Hunter Biden be a sympathetic figure, somebody that people want to listen to and they really want to hear from. But again, I don't take the words of a crack smoker seriously. I don't care if you sober for a long time, so what? If you smoke crack for any length of time, I'm not going to trust you. I'm not going to bring you one, make it be some kind of figure to be sympathetic toward. That's just not really my thing. Okay, this is why, again, I don't watch her, and a lot of y'all don't watch her because of stuff like that. Now, while she was busy trying to make Hunter be a sympathetic figure and trying to make us feel bad for Hunter Biden, Mr. Crack Smoker himself, she was attacking our nephew, Nick Shirley. Our nephew, she attacking.
Happened to find myself on top of Brazil's largest favela in a destroyed house, interviewing gang members of one of the largest gangs in Brazil.
Okay, I'm just gonna say I don't believe that at all. I'm sorry. I just it's so stupid. I'm not even gonna tell you why I don't believe it. It's like if you don't know that that's stupid, that he infiltrated the gang in 48 hours. That's so dumb. I'm so tired of dumb. That's not how that works. Okay.
So she's saying that it's impossible for Nick Shirley to infiltrate these gangs in Brazil and talk to them or whatever. She's saying that. So basically trying to say Nick Shirley is just a flim-flam artist. He's not really doing any kind of real journalism. He's not really going there and doing anything. But watch this. His report on the Somalis most certainly yielded some results. So we have one person right here. Of course, there's many more who don't look quite like her, but this is going to be Amy Bach, the ringleader of the massive 250 million feed our future COVID fraud scheme in Minnesota. And she got 41 years in the penitentiary. Okay, but of course, everybody else looks like, okay, I'm the captain now. But let's watch here. This is where Nick Shirley posted about the arrest in Minnesota after his investigation. The mainstream media failed you once again. Here's two examples. They tried to debunk, cover for fraudsters, and slander my name. The governor even called it a white supremacy to expose a fraud. Now it's all true, and they get to move along like they never lied to you. It's time to support independent journalists and leave mainstream fake media behind. Twitter makes this possible and allows you to support independent journalists directly on the platform. So you could click the link right there and check them out. And again, that's Nick Shirley on the X Twitter. But here's some headlines. How it started. Somali Minnesotans being scapegoated in fraud investigation. New York Times writer claims. How's it going? This is going to be New York Post. Owner of daycare and viral Nick Shirley video charged as part of $4.6 million fraud scheme. And the lady right there was in a Nick Shirley video. So it went from saying that he's a flim-flam artist, he's a liar, he's just a MAGA YouTuber, to they're getting locked up and they're being charged with a $4.6 million scheme. Okay, now here's one more. In December, CNN says the 43-minute video posted on YouTube the day after Christmas by a 23-year-old conservative content creator claimed with little evidence Somali-run child cares or whatever. Now, CNN has to go back and say feds charged 15 people in Minnesota with defrauding government social service programs. So in December, you were saying that there's not much evidence there, whatever. But now you say, oh, there is evidence and they got charged. Oh, okay. Well, how that crow taste? Okay, now,
CNN.
Throwback. This was CNN trying to fact check Nick Shirley back then. Remember this? This was CNN trying to fact check. This was the extent of their investigation. Check it out.
CNN is looking into Shirley's claims.
Hi, my name's Whitney Wild. I'm a correspondent for CNN.
We reached out to several of the daycares featured in the now viral video. Only one daycare facility answered and said they are a legitimate business.
Have you seen the videos, purporting that some of these daycares don't have kids inside?
Minnesota Republicans say despite the new focus from the Trump administration, they have been sounding the alarm on fraud for years.
We have talked about fraud. We have gotten stories. We've tried to push this forward every way that we can.
At the daycare where Shirley showed back up, a stream of children walk inside.
You're saying that this is a fraudulent daycare. There's kids being dropped off right now.
Yes, the commissioner of children literally said a week ago this place was closed.
Did you know
They're
that?
showing face right now.
A viral video, disputed claims, and their full fallout remains to be seen. CNN is...
Okay, so look. You got Republicans in Minnesota saying the same thing, that there's fraud going on, been going on for many years. They're trying to ring their alarm, but ain't nobody listening. Nick Shirley comes and says, hey, there's fraud going on. Please listen. What CNN do? They send this intern to just call people and say, hey, are you a fraudster? What they going to say? Yeah, I'm a fraudster. Why would they tell you that? If they're engaging in fraud, why would they admit it to a reporter? It makes no sense at all. This is the level of retardation that is happening with your mainstream media, which is why your independent journalists, your Nick Shirleys and whatnot are necessary, because without them, a lot of this would just kind of go under the rug. It'll get swept under the rug. All right, now, let's keep going here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video. do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, this is going to be about South Africa. I played them before about the issue with the illegal aliens coming in, but they are specifically tired of Nigerians, Somalis, and Pakistanis, and probably more.
We are sick and tired with the Somalians, with the Pakistanians, with Nigerians, and all illegal immigrants in this country.
These protesters say they're declaring war on illegal immigration and want to take their complaints right to the doorsteps of embassies across Pretoria. So protests like these have been springing up across South Africa in major cities like Pretoria, Johannesburg, Mthatha and Durban. This particular protest has been led to the Somali embassy in Pretoria, and the protesters here plan to raise issue with the Somali government about activities of their citizens in the country. The group, who were wearing Zulu traditional dress, initially sat down before the embassy gate saying they want to show respect. They demanded answers on a range of issues, from crime to illegal immigration. But things got tense when they were unhappy with the answers from the Somali representatives. The group say they've given undocumented immigrants until the end of June to leave South Africa. They don't have any legal standing to make this demand.
Sithi ngomhla ka-30 June usuku lokugcina sikhuluma nomuntu sithi hamba uye ngakini ngoba thina siyobe sesiqala imisebenzi yethu yangaphakathi.
So you're saying they got to go back and we want to work in our country.
So asifuni ukushayisana
nomuntu. Clash with anybody.
Many of the issues being raised by anti-immigration protesters have to do with South Africa's struggling economy, high crime, and the unemployment rate.
Same thing we got going on here, and it's the same people doing the same thing. The Somalis specifically, they got a problem with them. So it's not just the United States. It's not just a Nick Shirley issue or Minnesota issue or Republican issue. It's all over the whole world. All over the whole world. And if you're Somali watching me and you're not into all of the nonsense, shout out to you. But you know your brethren, your countrymen do the crime, the scamming. They do that all over the whole world. All over the world. In Africa, in Europe, in Asia, wherever they are, they're going to do it. It is what it is. Not all, but a lot. Now, there's going to be, coming back stateside, we have a state of emergency in California. Did you guys see this? So look, Gavin Newsom says we got a state of emergency in California, Orange County, because there's a failing chemical tank that could explode. You got more than 40,000 that have been evacuated because the tank is overheating at a Southern California aerospace facility, and it could spill thousands of gallons of toxic chemicals, or it could explode, and that'd be a complete disaster. I think the chemical spilling would be a disaster, but the explosion of these chemicals would also be a disaster. So shout out to you guys out there in OC, Orange County, California, near this particular place. Please be safe. Don't get caught up in a blast zone. If they say evacuate, I'll most certainly do that, because that doesn't look too good right there. I would not want to be within the radius of that explosion or anywhere near it. So shout out to you guys out there in Orange County, California, with the chemical leak that could explode. You guys, please be safe. Please be safe. Now, speaking about California, this is going to be Tom Steyer. Now, Tom Steyer, he's running for governor as a Democrat, of course. And he's trying to beat out, I think, Javier Becerra, if I'm not mistaken. At one point, you had Eric Swalwell running, but he had too many young ladies that came out. The Fang Fang situation, Yum happened. And then you got Katie. They came out, okay? Katie. All the interns came out. Talking about something. He put me in the group chat on Snapchat, showing me his PP. So no more Eric Swalwell. So the door is open for the Democrat to come in there and get the nomination. Tom Steyer being one of them. He's a billionaire or millionaire businessman out there. Now, he was in Leimert Park and had to escape because you got a bunch of these black folks out there talking about some reparations and cutting the check, all that kind of stuff. Now, listen, you black folks in California, man, you need to just try to escape California and do something else, because you're not going to get any money, okay? Unless you're a crack smoker or something like that, you're not getting no money. And you're only going to get money if you're getting it from an NGO because you're homeless, or you're just in a bad situation, there will be no check from the government at all. That is over with. And the more you bring in the illegal aliens and replace Americans, they're less likely to do that for you. You're in California, which Mexico part 2. They have no desire to give you anything. Really, they want you to leave so they can have California for themselves. You're not going to get anything. So trying to crowd his car and cussing at him will do nothing. But let's watch this.
Don't put your motherfucking hands on him.
You gotta let him go.
Fuck you and JC Rowe. Hey, look at you,
Reverse, brother. What's your position on reparations, Tom Sawyer? You said cut the check. What's your position on reparations? In 2020, you said you were going to cut the check. What's your position on reparations, Tom Sawyer? What's your position on reparations? In 2020, you said, well, cut the check. So how are you going to cut the check? What's your position on reparations?
You know who I am. You can say what the fuck we want to say. Fuck you and JC Rowe. You can say what the fuck we want to say. Who want to get something? Let's go. I'm sick.
Now, out of nowhere, do you spy what I spy? I spy with my little lie a white liberal right there, because there's always a white liberal handler in these groups of Walmartaviuses. I talking about give me a check, give me some money. It's always a white liberal being the ringleader, being the overseer. Always. It's usually a white liberal female because she's the one getting money from the NGO. So she getting paid from the NGO to be there while they get nothing. That's how it works.
You motherfuckers. What's going on? I got these white males in here think ain't gonna happen. Don't move that motherfucking car. You don't say what the fuck we want to say. Don't call on God now. Oh my, don't call on God now.
All right, there we go. So that's what's happening out there in California, Lamort Park, Los Angeles. Tom Steyer running for governor, and you have a bunch of black folks, some reparations, cut the check, all this, that, and the third. And out of nowhere, here comes the white liberal lady running the show. Always. I wish I could find that video. David Carroll had a video where it was the same situation. Same. It was a group of black folks, red, black, and green, all these ornate little things they got on their body. Look at my man right here. Like, look at this guy right here. Look at this custom-made stick and his big beads and all of this with a jersey up underneath it. Crackhead chic type stuff. But anyway, it was a bunch of them, reparations. And out of nowhere, as David Carroll was talking to these guys, here comes white liberal lady with a clipboard. Same thing going on here. Out of nowhere, boom. White liberal lady in her little leggings and whatnot, and her hat with the ponytail out the back. Hey man, you know what? To anybody that's out there, any of you black folks out there begging for money in Los Angeles, slavery is over with. I promise it is. So you can actually go do something with your life rather than begging for money. Yeah, you don't got to be on the side of the road talking about, can I have a little something? Give me a little something, young blood. You don't got to do that no more. Slavery over with. Do something else with your life. Anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Oh, this is a good one. It's kind of an older video, I believe, but it's still good because of the teen takeovers. Now, we've seen the teen takeovers, right? In a lot of cities all over the nation, teen takeovers, where they go to a place, it's a bunch of screaming and hollering and carrying on. They breaking stuff, stealing stuff, going into a Wawa gas station, taking all types of chips and drinks and packs of gum and whatnot. So the question is, what do you do with these takeovers? How do you stop them? How do you prevent them? How do you punish the kids who are involved? So here we are in Chicago asking the YNs, how do we deal with the teen takeovers? What do we do? And you see over there on the right-hand side, you got Mayor Mohawk himself, Brandon Johnson, and a YN, a brand new YN, Nike Tech YN at the desk. Let's hear it from him.
So I just really feel like we should focus more on giving them things to do in the summertime and stuff like that to keep them busy to where they don't have to feel like they got to plan teen takeovers to have fun.
Any questions being
I would say
I really don't know much about curfews because I wasn't one of those teens who would be outside for real. Like, I wasn't raised for that. But one thing I will say is that I wouldn't think that it would, because some people home, we trying to escape home. You know, teens try to escape home. So I feel like a curfew, it might belittle that, because while you trying to keep someone in the house, they could be with a safe spaces organization.
So I just really feel like.
All right, so there we go. But look, you know what? I've heard this whole excuse about, oh, well, they don't got nothing to do. I've heard that for a long time. There's all kind of things playing, basketball at midnight, all kind of stuff. It's really what the young lady said right here. So she don't really be outside because she wasn't raised to be that way. Exactly. No amount of team, no amount of basketball at midnight, organizations, rec centers, no amount of that will stop the teen takeovers, because what's going to stop it is, first, the prevention. Come from a home where you can't do stuff like that, where you're not permitted to do that in your house, where you have parents actually care about what you got going on. That's number one. But number two, there's got to be penalties for it. Because I was once a YN. I was a young black man myself, and I already knew my boundaries. I knew if I did X, it was going to be a penalty. I knew when I was 14 years old in high school that if I got caught with a gun, that's an automatic 5 years in the penitentiary. I knew that from the beginning. So if you thought that there could be a big fine you got to pay for doing a teen takeover, and your mama already struggling and she can't pay it, and if she can't pay it, you got to go to jail. You see, if you knew that could be a penalty, then you wouldn't want to do it. All the excuses about, oh, they don't got nothing to do in the summertime and they need a rec center, is BS. How were you raised? That's going to be the question. If you were raised right, you would know not to go and do stuff like that. If you were raised like a wild animal, like a weed in the garden, and it just happens, then you're not going to know what to do. You'll do anything. And if there's no penalty, you'll do it again. That's the bottom line. And the penalty must be severe. If it's not, then you're going to keep on having it, and there won't be any way to prevent it. Simple. All right, let's keep going here. Now, this is going to be DC Councilwoman Janice George saying it's dangerous to use the curfew method to curb the teen takeovers.
As an executive, you have to decide which tools you use and when you use them. And right now, using the curfew as a tool for our young people is dangerous. It is dangerous because we have federal troops who are in our city, mass ICE agents who are in our city. As an executive, you have to decide which tools you use and when you use them. And right now, using the curfew as a tool for our young people is dangerous.
Look, man, tell them little gremlins to go home, get inside the house. Because for real, they be on their phone anyway, playing video games, playing Fortnite, Call of Duty. They don't got to be out there doing that. Tell them little gremlins to stay home. If I was the king, I could just do whatever I wanted. If you look like you might be a little bit too young, I'm gonna say, you know what? If it's sundown, you got to go home. That's what I would say. Okay, now speaking about minority groups and whatnot, do you think current students in college will give up their space for a quote unquote minority? Let's watch.
I'm also a part of marginalized groups that have been historically oppressed, and it's like, keep on raising awareness and like slaying. Like, I hope that like we reach more equity soon.
We actually have a equity commitment form. You can actually give up your spot at university for a member of the Tongva tribe. Is this something that you'd be willing to do for this underrepresented, underprivileged community?
Honestly, no, but I hope somebody else does. That's great.
Not currently. I would need to think about it more.
I personally don't view myself as privileged. I don't think I would be willing to give up my spot at UCLA. I think that my ethnicity's representation is also important. I'm a Black student.
Who should we find to give up their spot?
That's a tough question. Anybody that is willing and feels that they're represented in the right way here.
You know what I mean? I can't make a split-second decision.
Okay, no problem. Don't worry about it. Hey, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. We know it's kind of hard to make a decision right now. It's a lot to try and process. It's okay. But I think nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. If you got to UCLA, I presume there was hard work involved and you had to apply yourself and you're dedicated and you have a bright future ahead. Why would you say, you know what, I don't want to go here because somebody else wants to go here? No. And I think that it should be all about merit. Are you good? Do you have good test scores? Are you someone who should be here based upon your performance? It should only be about that. The whole race piece shouldn't matter. Are you intelligent? Are you educated? Do you want to learn? Are you a good learner? Do you fit into this program? If you do, come on. If you don't, oh well. Black, white, Puerto Rican, the candy stripe. It don't matter. But yeah, shout out to them. Okay, now, have you seen this clip? Okay, shopping carts. This is a funny clip I wanted to show. Do you guys think that you should bring your shopping cart back to at least a corral outside, like in the parking lot? Or like what I do, I bring it all the way back inside. When I go to Costco, there could be a corral right there. I will take the cart all the way back to the store, like to the front where I got it. Because I used to do the whole cart corral thing back in the day at Sam's Club, and I was like 16, 17. So I understand the frustration of having to go get a cart from way at the other end of the parking lot in the rain, especially because when it rains, the carts are always all over the place. The carts always run out the quickest when it rains because no one brings them back.
People.
Anyway, let's watch this. Let's check it out. Do you bring your cart back to the corral? Do you bring your cart back to the corral, yay or nay?
People just put me on blast because I said I wasn't returning my shopping cart.
All right, pause there. We're going to show the video.
I'm not returning my shopping cart, and you can judge me all you want. I'm not getting my groceries into my car, getting my children into the car, and then leaving them in the car to go return the cart. So if you're going to give me a dirty look, off.
We want to harp on Dr. Leslie is going against a fucking social norm that says if you don't return your cart, you're a bad person. We feel things every day, but because we don't have the words necessarily for it, we minimize it, we suppress it. And what do? We choose a social norm. Something's making me feel uncomfortable. Fuck the cart. Leave the fucking cart. And that's this cart concept of go against the grain. Predators do it every day, and that's how they get to you. They're already outside of the box. People just put me on
What? That was a whole lot of nothing. Hey, was it that deep to go into a deep dive and talk about the reason and why you didn't want to put the cart back? Just say you didn't want to put the cart back because you lazy, you bit back, or whatever the case may be. Okay, you got kids, so must you have the cart to have your kids with you? I mean, you could easily just put the groceries in the cart, in the car with the cart. Bring your kids with you to take the cart to the corral. It's only a few steps down. Take your kids with you. After you're done, load the kids up, get in the vehicle, be on your way. I'm not saying do what I do, go all back to the store with the cart. Just put it in the cart corral right there, and you get money. What you do? You put the cart in the middle of the road. You put. I know what you do. You probably just hike the cart up on the back wheels and put the front wheels on the median right there. I know what you one of them. That's just lazy in my humble opinion. You can afford to bring the cart back to the thing, and to go on a podcast talking about it is crazy. But hey, that's what we do nowadays, 2026. That's what we do. So what do y'all do? If you got kids and whatnot, do you just leave the cart in the middle of the street? Let somebody else's vehicle hit it. You let it run into another car, paint chipping, glass breaking. Do you put it on the median? Do you put it in the corral? Or do you go ahead and put it back in the store where you got it? Y'all let me know. Exactly. The real Chuck says, she definitely says, shut up to her husband on a regular basis. That's facts. Big facts. It takes 1 minute. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to put the cart in the corral and go on your way. Yeah, at best. Zealand Zen says, this 20-second task does a lot for society. It does. It does. And that's what I was saying earlier about Gen Z going to church. If everybody's on the same page, then it's beautiful because you guys better able to be together because you get the common interest and the common goal. If we can just put the carts in the corral, you on the same page. We got a common interest and a common goal to help this parking lot work efficiently, to have the guys that come get the carts, have their job be easier. Everything works better if you just do that. But when you don't, you're just going against rules of society, and going against society's unwritten rules, I would suppose, or written rules, just causes problems. And when you have that kind of thing spread in general, society decays. All right, but shout out to you guys again. I appreciate you for rocking and rolling. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. So this is about the cost of food. Five Guys. How much do the fries cost at Five Guys? Is it cheaper to go eat fast food or to just go to the store and buy it?
So what's the matter? Are you going to come back to Five Guys though? Why?
15 cents a fry?
Did you just do the math on that?
Good. $8 fries. Is that $8?
You're going to count the fries. $9.
$9.
And this is a large? How many?
Like 60.
60 fries for $9?
$9.
That's not a bargain, though. It's terrible value.
$9 for 60 fries? I mean, I would never. I can go to the store right now, even with food being expensive. I can get me a New York strip, a 14 ounce for $20 or less. And I could eat that over the course of 2 days. I had a 14 ounce New York strip last night. It was so good. It was so good. But today I was able to fast because I already had a lot of food yesterday. And that steak is going to be on stomach for a while. It'll digest kind of slowly. So I can get that same steak for $20 versus getting these fries and that burger for the same amount of money, which ain't going to last that long and it's not nutritious.
End of Five Guys for you? Oh, this is it? Cooked? Enjoy your last fries.
All right, there we go. So what you got right here? Peanuts?
Even the free peanuts are smaller.
Oh, man. Shrinkflation, though?
Shrinkflation.
Got smaller free peanuts? Yeah, there we go. Five Guys. So yeah, like how much was that meal be at Five Guys? How much would the meal be? Hold on. Can I do this live right now? Could I online ordering at Five Guys is crazy. But anyway, so if I want to get let's say like a medium fry, a medium fry and a burger and a drink. So a hamburger off the rip is $10. Off rip, hold on. Off rip, look at these prices right quick. Hold on. Off rip, a hamburger, $10. You see that right there? You want a cheeseburger, $10.95. A bacon burger, $11.25 for a bacon burger. Bacon cheeseburger, $12.35. I would never. So look, regular hamburger, okay, $9. So unlimited toppings, that's good. So ketchup, all of that, onion, and then I want my bun. Okay. So in my cart, that's going to be $10 plus tax already. You want a milkshake, $6. Regular fries, $6. Large fries, $8. So what I said with the large fries, $8, $17.70 right there, $17.70. Now I can get a steak for that same price from the store, but all I got was a burger and fries with no drink. I want a milkshake, like a Big Back, okay, a coffee milkshake. That's going to be $23.75 before tax. And then what some of y'all would do is get that on DoorDash. By the time you pay DoorDash fees and taxes and all kind of stuff plus tip, that's $40. I would never. Oh my goodness. But then, the thing about it, the reason why I show that is because some people would say food is expensive because you buy food like that. That's why you think it's expensive, in my humble opinion. But anyway, that ain't bad. That's not bad. Okay, y'all got money. Y'all got money on Popeyes. A 16 piece meal is $50 at Popeyes. And all you're gonna get at Popeyes is bread and flour.
Popeyes, Miss Girl, what are we doing? $29 for chicken, $25, $40, $28. Bitch, who are we feeding? What family is this?
So yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive. But again, go to the grocery store rather than going to food reviews. I could do that. Food reviews and also cooking. I'm also a chef. If I didn't know, I'm also a good chef. I cook very well. I cook 5 days a week. I'm a very good cook. If anybody ever had my food, I know you like it. Don't even lie to yourself. All right. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's get to a few super chats, and we're going to get to the phone calls. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Super chats, we get to these right quick. Thank you to Granny Cat for your donation. Thank you to Ron Henderson who says, what's wrong with that person? She don't have a clue. Pew, pew, duck. Exactly. When they shooting, don't be like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? Where's it coming from? Just go ahead and get on the ground. Thank you to Crimson who says, howdy, ABL. She has no self-awareness at all. You're right about that. Shout out to you, Crimson. Thank you to Nicholas who says, love what you do, sir. Thank you for what you do. Thank you to you as well. I appreciate you for your super chat. Thank you to Ron Henderson who says, I pray that they get the true gospel. They got out of the Bible and follow that truth. Right on, 100%. Thank you to Wildlife is Rough who says, 1 year since Biden reported terminal prostate cancer with bone mets, he's a pathological liar or he would be dead. Well, hey, they say he got cancer, all that kind of stuff, make you feel bad for him. Again, Hunter Biden going on camp, make you feel bad for him. Joe talking about, make you feel bad for him. But I don't feel bad for them at all. I don't trust people that smoke crack. Okay, I'm sober 6 years. Okay, whatever you say. Whatever you say. Hunter, recently, I saw your jaw go like that. Recently, I saw your jaw do that. If I see that jaw go like this, if I see that, I think that you are on crack right now. If it's a residual effect from your crack days, maybe your brain is also doing the same thing. When your jaw's doing that, your brain doing that. So therefore, I don't trust whatever you say. I take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, let's go to some calls here. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Yeah, I don't trust no crack smoker. All that jaw action, nah. Just like your boy Destiny, his jaw do the same thing. I don't trust any odd facial movements, crazy drug history. That's an automatic no for me. That's an automatic, hey, you know what? I'm going to call the cops if I see you doing something a little bit weird for me. 100%. Two, four, oh, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Rita.
All righty. What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about what you were mentioning with the aliens and when you were mentioning it and how it turns into like Nordic, like there's different species. And there is something about it just seems very like they're demons basically. And if you even think about what Tucker Carlson, he mentioned that he had an encounter with something like similar that like scratched his chest or whatever. And you see the difference of that between like before that happened and after with Tucker Carlson. There has been a significant change. And you just think about like there are spiritual things that happen in this world. Like we might, like you said, we might not actually see the spiritual things, but there are things happening in the spiritual realm. And people don't believe it, but it is. There are such things as demons. And you even think about the astronaut, like they said when they went out to space and they saw like the Earth and there's really nothing else out there. It just shows how precious Earth is, like how precious we are as human beings. And yeah, I just want to share that. I don't know what you think about that.
Nah, I mean, I'm right with you. And I think that a lot of those things, it's kind of hard to explain, but when you put it in that context, it does make sense to me. So if that is what's going on, then it's not unbelievable. I'll put it to you that way.
Right. Yeah. And I agree. It's hard to say because a lot of people don't believe in, like, especially in America or really DC, I would say a lot. They don't believe in the spiritual realm, like so they'll kind of write it off, like whatever. They'll think more about UFOs being like, oh, there's these, we want to get to know them, we want to go on a spaceship, rather than realizing that this is all in the Bible. Like all of this about demons and all this and everything in the Bible, we can end up pointing it back to the Word of God, I think. And then I wanted to talk about something else, then I'll get off. When you were talking about, so I was just talking to my mom about the young teen, whatever, they're like wilding out. They're going to Chipotle. They're destroying. I mean, I saw a video and I saw they absolutely destroyed Chipotle. And you see most of them Black young men. And I'm just like, what is going on? Why are they like, and like I saw the children and the young man said, oh, there's nothing to do. And I disagree. I believe that this is where parents need to be present. And I know I was just talking to my mom, she's older, of course, and so she pushed back on saying like, well, they need something to do. They need a young man in the community and all this stuff. And it's like, well, it starts at home. And I know that's a harsh thing to say, but it's like we can't keep putting our children on the government, on NAACP and all this other stuff when the home, and yes, there's some homes that don't have a father. I understand that, but it still doesn't take away from that parent being the foundation, of what the children is taught. And then yes, we do need community around that as well. I don't know what you think about that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think that you got to have a complete community. You got to have mother, father raising children with proper boundaries, just raising them right. Because when they're not raised right, when they don't have boundaries, they go out in the world and they terrorize people. They do anything. And that cannot be how we live as people. We have to have people that understand how to behave, whether they're young or old, and their excuse cannot be, or they're just young and need something to do. No, because not everyone is going to behave like that. Some people are going to behave like that, and these are the kids that are usually behaving badly. So that needs to be a thing that is put upon those who are raising these people.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, I don't want to take up your time, but I just love your show. I think you're doing such an amazing job, and I just pray that the Lord continues to use you in this space, because your voice is needed so much for such a time as this. God bless you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right, great call. Great call. Shout out to her. And I appreciate her for her compliment for sure. And thank you guys for being here as well. I cannot do any of this without you. Let's go to 859. Hold on. 859, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
All right. Hey, ABL, how's it going? Thank you much for taking my phone call. I was just out and about drinking some coffee, and the different species of aliens is amazing since you've been talking about it. I'm actually kind of curious. I hope alien spaceship will actually call in and, talk about his expertise of UFOs, brother.
Oh, right on. And I just, what I want to see is the species that we have just appear. I want to see them manifest. We can talk about it and that's cool, but I really want to see it.
Almost.
You said what now?
Like maybe coexist one day, like immigrants, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know about that. But I think that I like to be able to see them wherever they are. Just, let us know where you at and then go back to there.
All right. I've been listening to the phone call. It seems kind of weird. That guy with the mask, what looks like the mask, the little like skin flap, was a bit weird and a bit alarming, especially when he was like, "Yay, support, go against Iran." It's like, okay, this guy is obviously wearing a mask on Fox News. This is awkward.
Yeah, I mean, it looked crazy. Like if that was just a shadow or something like that, I can't tell. It appeared to have been the mask because I can't really explain it any other way.
Well, and don't get me wrong. Like I voted for Trump twice. I did not like the idea that we were going to war with Russia. And I'm a libertarian guy. I just don't like the whole war thing. That's the only thing. There's the only two things I don't like about Trump is the whole war and the Epstein list. Everything like the economy, strong borders, fantastic. And actually, back in 2016, we had a dang good economy.
I'm with you. I'm right on it.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I feel like the recovery time with the economy is not as good as that I think is going to pop up to be like in 2016 with the lower taxes and stuff like that. Is there going to be more and stuff? Also, I've heard recently, which is some good news, the DOJ is calling Bill Gates into court.
Oh,
so
is that
finally,
right?
they're finally actually cracking down on the Epstein list, going after Bill Gates now. Thank goodness. So I have to give them credit for that, at least.
So is it about Epstein or something else?
It's about Epstein. It's about Epstein, but also it's about recently about the virus that happened over in that I think it's a ship, right? At the exact same time when they had the new virus come out that recently we're talking about, at the exact same time they had 300 arrests over in Walt Disney, over in Florida, over people having CP, which is messed up. It's weird that it happened at the exact same time. And it's weird that Bill Gates is now, yeah, I agree with you. I got you, brother. But yeah, it's weird that all of a sudden he's going to court for this stuff. Coincidentally. Man, thank you very much for taking my phone call, man. Much appreciated, brother.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it. All right. Shout out to him. Hearing screamers in the background. Hopefully everything is good with you, boss. But shout out to you guys again for the calls. Most certainly appreciate you. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. That's the number to call. It'll always be in the description. Also below me in the ticker on the screen, it should be there as well. 480, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. Hey, listen, have you heard that indigenous people were black people?
I've heard this.
You've heard that before?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been listening to some people on social media, and they're disputing, what we've learned in high school and in school, And then I just wanted to know if you heard about that. And then I'd also like to say that I think that these teen takeovers, the parents need to be held accountable. They're not bringing up the kids properly, I don't think. And then the other thing I wanted to say is in Africa, the Pan-African school of thought is that we need a United States of Africa. So I don't know how good it is that they're, fighting amongst other Africans from other parts of Africa.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't. So you're talking about like on the African continent or over here, like in America?
The African continent. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a that's a Pan-African dream, which never happened because even among African countries, you have division. Like a place like Nigeria is not really a country because there's so many different religions, cultures, ethnic groups, languages. Just like a prime example would be the north and the south of Nigeria, just to make it really easy because where you have the north and the south meet, that's where you have all these clashes that happen because you have Muslims in the north, Christians in the south, and whenever they meet, there's conflict. So if you have conflict like that happening within a nation, that's just one nation. How are you going to have all 54 nations coming together? There was a place called Sudan that is now Sudan and South Sudan. They split. So when you have nations splitting and making brand new nations, how in the face of that, are you going to have a united Africa? It makes no sense.
Yeah, but we have the same type of religious differences in America?
Well, not to the point where you have massacres of people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, people aren't being massacred.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, love your show. Thanks for taking my call. Take care and stay. Don't eat a lot of shrimp. It's got a lot of cholesterol.
Okay, I'll go easy on the shrimp for sure.
Yeah, I think I think they recommend maybe only eating it twice or 3 times a week.
Okay.
No more than that.
I got you.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
Yep. Bye.
Okay. Nice call. Shout out to her. Let's look at 857 on the line.
Hey, what's going on, ABL?
What's happening?
Yeah, I heard you. You mentioned a few things. You were mentioned about illegal immigration, and then I think in another video you mentioned people with Section 8 vouchers that they, that they shouldn't have that because that the incentive for work won't be there. So my question to you is, who is, according to immigration law, who is considered to be an illegal immigrant in the United States?
If you're here illegally.
Yeah, but who's considered to be an illegal immigrant under an immigration law?
Those who were here illegally.
Yeah, but who are they?
If you're here, yeah, I've answered the question. So just get to your point.
So let's assume the people that they were staying at the hotels in New York, they're illegally in the country.
Get to your point, because all right, just pause for a second. What you want to do is try to get me tripped up and say that those who are here in the country may not be here illegally because they're asylum seekers or they're on some kind of visa. Like at the end of the day, get to your actual point. What do you really want to say?
My actual point is that you're misleading people because you're saying that the illegal immigrants, they are giving them voucher for food. They're giving them, put them in the hotels. But now you confess that they are not illegal.
That's not what I said. You said that.
But so they are illegal or they are not illegal?
I mean, I say migrants, people that are coming here. You don't know whether they're illegal or illegal.
But I'm asking you.
You trying to I guess you probably thought about this you probably practiced in the mirror before you called me. You thought about it before you called me or some loser, stuff. Just like what you want to do is try to get me tripped up, but it's not going to work. At the end of the day, those who are here, I'm talking and can't nobody hear you. Like whenever I talk and you talk, nobody can hear you. They can hear me though. I'm going to turn you off and nobody can. I can't even hear you either. But anyway, you have those who are here illegally and those who are here under some kind of program or something like this, some kind of status, whatever. I don't really care. At the end of the day, these programs should not be for non-citizens, whether you are technically legal or not. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Section 8 should not be for non-citizens. So what's your next thing for that?
I didn't mention Section 8. I was when I mentioned Section 8.
What you said? You said that earlier. You said that. Actually, you know what? This is all being recorded. We can just go back and we could play it later. But you said Section 8.
But okay. So I'm still in the illegal immigrant situation. So according to the immigration law, someone that is illegal doesn't have an immigration status. Okay. Someone under immigration, I could cross the border illegally, and if I get detained by an immigration officer and then I claim asylum and I go to the process, that means that I'm not illegal. I don't have an immigration status, but I'm not illegal. I'm pending to a case to see a judge. So under those rules, I still apply for my work authorization after 180 days. And under the law, those who are seeking asylum, the government is responsible for providing food, shelter, education, and medical care. You have to read I told you this many times. You need to read the Refugee Act passed in 1980. So what I'm trying to help you is that you're misleading your audience. Now we're going to
Wait a minute, because you're saying something that you think that you said something spectacular and grand. I've always said the term migrants because it's a catch-all term for all these people who shouldn't be here. We shouldn't have so many so-called asylum seekers from all over the world. We should not have them. We should not have the illegal aliens. We should not have those that come on a visa, overstay their visa. We should not have birth tourists who come here legally, have a baby, anchor babies. All that shouldn't be a thing. So you're not saying anything new or profound. You thought you were, but you were not. What's your next point?
So what, it is the law or is your opinion?
You're not saying anything new or profound. What's your next point?
The law is...
I mean, at the end of the day, you can answer the question and move on to the next, and I can hang up. So we've already discussed the whole legal immigrant versus asylum seeker. We've already discussed that. What's your next point?
So my next point, you mentioned... Okay, so I'm going back to my next point. I gave you the facts. You gave me your opinion. That's fine. You're entitled to your own opinion. You're entitled to your own BS.
Next point. We don't got all night.
The next point is you mentioned that people in the Section 8 pay $8, $4 a month per rent. That's what you say, right?
I don't remember saying the exact amount.
No, that's what you said. You said it was $5.
That's what you're saying. I don't remember the exact amount, but go ahead.
Well, that's what you said. So
that's what you're saying, but I don't remember. So if I don't remember, then it doesn't really matter. So what's your point?
It's on your video because you say that they're on Section 8.
Like, let's get to your really tonight. You're working my nerves especially bad. Just get to your point.
So I'm going back to my point. So I go back to my point. Do you know how the Section 8 payment for the recipient is calculated?
It doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, we're talking about if you get Section 8, you should be a citizen. Do you agree with that? Do you like my point about Section 8 is if you get it, you should be a citizen. Do you agree with that? Yes or no?
Well,
it's just a no question.
No, I don't. But you see, you say things like you should be.
I mean, look, you caught me tonight trying to like win an argument based on technicalities, but what you're saying doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if somebody's an asylum seeker or they overstayed their visa or they're here illegally or whatever. At the end of the day, they're not citizens. There should be some things that are for citizens and some things that are not. Like, for example, if you're not a citizen, whether you're a green card holder, whether you're an asylum seeker, whether you're a refugee, whether you're here illegally, you should not be able to vote. So it doesn't really matter the idiosyncrasies of your particular status. What matters is that you're not a citizen at the end of the day. So your argument you're going down is totally irrelevant and nobody really cares.
It's not irrelevant because you give me...
It doesn't matter. It's unimportant. At the end of the day, you're not a citizen. So what your particular status is has no relevance.
Well, so I give you the facts. Someone that is illegal doesn't have an immigration status.
Okay. All right. I mean, you're not saying nothing new though. Thank you for your call, but that was a swing and a miss. Come in with something different. Come in with something new. Okay. You wouldn't have called me and argue about the moon being in a fixed rotation. Okay, congratulations. Thank you for being Captain Obvious. Now what's your point? Anyway. 215, hit on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
All right, you can hear me loud and clear. Just want to make sure.
I hear you well.
Okay, so have you heard, ever since this Chud the Builder case has been going on, have you been hearing about people saying some crazy nonsense like, oh, we're going to get our First Amendment rights taken away if they keep up with this?
Yeah, I have heard that, yes.
And basically, it just comes from a lot of people who don't really understand how the First Amendment works. And especially people who say, if they keep letting these white people go out here and say the N-word, the government's going to take away our First Amendment right. I said, that's not really how it works. Actually, that's not how it works.
Yeah, that's not how it works at all. People just don't know anything. They have no idea. They think that's about the First Amendment. It has nothing to do with the First Amendment. Really, he's not in jail being charged or violating with any kind of speech thing. He's in jail because he was in a verbal argument and pulled a gun and then shot the gun. That's why he's in jail, not for saying words. That's not why he's in jail.
Yeah, and it's funny, this whole argument between people who want to be Chud the Builder supporters and people who still have this Black Lives Matter victim mentality. The whole conversation becomes about race instead of the whole argument of who was right and who was wrong on the how the Second Amendment is. Chud the Builder was right outside the courthouse while he was out on bond, if I'm not correct, for the incident at the restaurant with him leaving out on not paying a bill. And he walked over to the guy. He antagonized the conflict. They say some people say he already had it done out while he was walking over there. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I mean, what happened was they got into a verbal altercation, just verbal, just words being exchanged, which is what he thought he could do, right? Just talk to people, talk crazy. That's what he was doing. That's what he fought for, right? So then, as that was happening, and the guy was saying something to him, he felt threatened some kind of way from the words that he said, well, you should be able to do that. But he pulls the gun at this point. He has a bladed stance, reaches for the weapon. So that's what caused the fight to happen, because the guy saw the gun about to come out and he didn't want to get shot. That's why he got into the confrontation physically. But before that, it was just verbal, and no physical contact had taken place.
Exactly. So yeah, I like how the BLM victim mentality supporters, and you got the Nick Fuentes supporters who basically want to try to make this a racial issue. It's not a racial issue. It's just the simple fact that he was trying to pull a gun out when he wasn't supposed to pull a gun out. Joshua reached for his gun. They got so scuffle. Joshua got shot, and Chud shot himself by accident. And this both happened in front of a courthouse, and that's why Chud is in so much trouble.
Exactly, because it was like during the daytime, people are outside, a bullet ricocheted, and a bullet that ricocheted could have hit anybody, innocent bystander, little kid, anybody could have got hit out there. So he was reckless with it, and he had intention to do it. He was just an overall mess, a jailbird anyway, keep getting in trouble, can't do right, can't act right. So his incarceration was predictable.
Yeah, makes sense. And one more last thing, ABL, about that is now that he's in trouble, you've been hearing about people been trying to pull up Joshua Wright's former criminal record and saying he's on Megan's Law. He had got in trouble for something of a minor. Did you hear stuff like that too?
Was that about who now?
Joshua Fox, the one who got shot. They're trying to say, so people who support Chud the Builder were trying to pull up his record saying that he had violated a minor and all that other kind of stuff. Did you hear anything about that? Because I'm gonna tell you, it's not true at all.
Yeah, I've not. Well, I did see that, but it was not him. It was somebody else. It was a white guy named Joshua Fox. It was not the guy that got shot.
Exactly, and then people didn't even take the time out to look up the year. The guy was born, because Joshua Fox is my age, 31. The other Joshua Fox, he's like what, 51 now?
Yeah, he's
born in 1978.
Yeah, whole different guy.
Yeah. So people's bias, let it get the best of them, and they didn't really do their proper research.
Exactly, but people would, they want to have their narrative be proven. They want to be right. They want to be correct. So they believe anything. They take anything, run with it, believe it, and that'd be their narrative, because that's what they want to believe, rather than just believing what the truth is.
Yep. Yeah, we see that all over. Thanks for taking my call, ABL.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
You have a good night.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to the caller. As always, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And the number to call again, 706-406-3287. Let's look at you online, 310.
Hey, ABL, this is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, sir?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm trying to do better, man. I've been laid up today, man. My back is out, so I hate it. Whew. So anyway, but I'll push through this. I can endure a lot of pain, but like I said, just getting the old man down. But I'll be okay. But yeah, man, we had a wonderful Sunday last week. Where the president rededicated the nation back onto God, and my wife and I, we took the time to watch the whole thing. We sat in our big movie room and watched 9 hours. We were doing a marathon for sure, and just to look at the people, and the history of the nation, and just thinking about what our nation was founded on. The principles of the Bible, and these scholars, these great men of our founding, sought the wisdom that they found in there and got it started. We take that. A lot of people take it so lightly. And what these men and how the providential move of God worked on this nation, and how it is still today. That even now there's a remnant of people that are out praying. There are people out there praying, crying, singing unto the Lord. And like you said, being in one mind, one accord, just like it is, like you said, the Gen Z's trying to come back to church to find some type of morality. And these are the things that are missing today. And you're talking about the youth that run crazy and everything like that. It's like I said, there's the foundation of society is in the family. It's in the family, and I'm talking about a nuclear family, the family between man and a woman. And unfortunately, the women today, especially like I see even some of the black women, the fact that they will want to go ahead from man to man and everything like that. There's no grounding of a family because you got too many different seeds running around. You got a baby from this baby daddy and this baby daddy. And where's the lineage? See, there's no common lineage right there because we had the Marxist ideology destroyed the family structure of the black family, and a lot of people that bought into this here family mindset. That's the destruction of our nation. That is destruction of our people as black people. That's how we destroy ourselves. I mean, there's a good remnants of people that are have a family structure. Like I said, I come from a strong family of five. I'm the oldest of five, and my father, and my mother were married for 68 years before their passing, and so I have a great lineage of stick-to-itiveness, in our trials, and even myself, I got a family of five, and I have a stick-to-itiveness, and my wife have a stick-to-itiveness, so we pushed through the hard times and struggled and got to the point that right now that we're not struggling now, but we're still being mindful of the times that we're living in. Unfortunately, the children today, the young adults today, they don't have any structure. They don't know how to, like you said, the DoorDash and everything like that everywhere, instead of being, open your door and put some, dash of salt, a dash of pepper on your steak or your jambalaya or anything like that. Don't know how to make these here meals to make it so to be lasting more than that one day. You got a family of five. Hey, I can tell you that I could cook for a family of five and it lasts for 2 days, 3 days if they're not greedy. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is that the people don't want to go ahead and take the time to do this and to take the time to invest in their family, to take the time to give structure to their children, their sons and their daughters, and keep them and keep their butts in the home. I know where my kids are, and that's what. And I knew when they were out there in the streets and everything like that, and they were at home. They weren't out there running around being crazy. I knew what they were doing, and they know what to do. Unfortunately, these parents today don't want to be parents. They don't like the role of being a parent. They don't like the role of being accountable for somebody. And the kids don't like the idea of being accountable to their parents because they want to be their friends and everything like that. No, I'm your daddy. No, she's your mama, and if you disrespect your mama, you're going to be dealing with your daddy. And a little act right go a long way. And I tell you, and then they got their mind right, and so they don't do that. But the thing about it is that these kids today don't have that structure. And I think it need to be a law that if your kid's out there destroying things, if that's your kid, and we get them arrested and everything, it is the parents' responsibility. You're responsible to them children until they become adults. And if you got a state that makes it so that 17 is considered an adult, hey, you still responsible because legally it's 18. You know what I'm saying? But if you do anything egregious, killing, shooting, doing other things, hey, there's some things that a fine can't do. Sometimes, the fine is time. You're going to get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I looked at the Japanese prison system and how they do things, and it is no joke over there. They do not play with you over there. You will conform to society norms when you get out. And if you don't, hey, guess what? You staying in there till you get your mind right. But the people, our nation, our parents, these kids, they need to get back to the rule of law. And the thing about it, I fault the judges who being lenient on these here kids, who are not going ahead and giving the full extent of the law. There's sometimes these things to be the full extent of the law. We got plenty of empty buildings right there. 4 to 5 of them, these going to be the new lockdown spots. We're going to lock you down, give you a book, get rid of all those, Gavin Newsom going ahead and giving people iPads so they can go ahead and watch it all their lewd contents and everything. No, you can have some paper book right here, paperback, you know what I'm saying? And better give it back to me the way it came. You know what I'm saying? Still trying to dig your way out of here and everything that, smoking it in a blunt or whatever. These things that need to be stopped. These people need to be dealt with seriously. This is getting too much in our society. It is not right. It is not right. And the illegals and everything like that, hey, you know what? All the fraud and everything like that, these people need to be locked up, need to be dealt with, get our money back. Get it back. We can go ahead and change the tide of our government when we stop all this nonsense. People need to unite, need to go ahead and continue to be prayerful for our nation. There are people out there praying, and I believe it, I see it, I feel it. There is a tide going on. I think that was an excellent showing of the people, the Gen Zs going to church and waiting in line and doing all this thing. That's what needed to be done. That's what people need to get their hearts back and get their mind right, get their hearts back to God, get their mind back on the things that are eternal and not this temporal stuff that's being thrown at us. This temporal stuff is not conducive to our society today. It's too much craziness. It's mental health issues. It's a spiritual health issue, and it's affecting their minds. And that's what the enemy wants. He wants your mind confused. And we want to diffuse that confusion. So anyway, beloved, I'm just going to stop it right there, man, because I could go on for another 5 minutes, but I'm not going to do that to you. I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm going to cut it right here, man. I love you. I love our country. I love my family. I love, what the president is trying to do. This man is trying to. I thought it was awesome that he even thought about dedicating the country back onto God. The Democrats couldn't have pulled that off. They couldn't have pulled it off because they would have done something totally different.
Right on.
They'd have had drag queen up there. They would have did something totally different. But you know what? God is on the throne, beloved, and we're going to keep our country moving forward, man. I love you. God bless you. Hey, man, have a wonderful Sunday, okay? Do something good for yourself like you did yesterday with that steak.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for your
call. Love you, man. Take care.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And shout out to you guys again for rocking and rolling. Let's go.
Keep our country.
254 to line. Who am I speaking to?
God bless you.
Hey, ABL, can you hear me really well?
I hear you well.
How you doing? Yeah, it's been a while since I called in over here. I'm back in Texas, taking some leave, hanging out with the family. Probably like a half a bottle of Stag in right now, so smoking some cigars, chilling. So to the children watching on the stream right now, hey, don't drink and smoke. So don't do that. It's a pretty bad thing to do, but I digress. Hey, I just want to call in, give you some endpoints, things like that, though. So shout out to the last caller right there, man. Like, he's dropping facts right there, per se. Talking about what we need to start seeing about in our society and things going on the line. Some of the one hit pointers I want to give you right there. Give you a good UAP story here on the last part on that one. Give it a fun part of the end of the story. Talking about some of the better parts of our society. The last caller, he's sitting over just talking about the things you kind of see out there in Japan, and we talked about the Chipotle incident earlier in the stream. It's sad kind of seeing what we see out here in the United States. We sit over here, we have a more of a degenerate society. We kind of see, people having like a lack of respect for like our people, like our society, people lack of, respect to our country, flag, and like, just general human cleanliness out there per se, treating people with respect across all different fronts. It's something I learned, like, I've seen out there when I've been on and off on like deployments, like visiting Japan, like early on this is like taught at a early on level from like pre-K to third grade level. You're taught like, how to be like a good civilized person per se. They don't teach you, like how to like standardize towards tests, how like standardize to like, become academically graded. It's more about, hey, clean up after the school. Hey, here's your assigned duties. Hey, here's how to like walk across a, crosswalk. Thank people for what they do out there. And it's funny because you'll sit there and see, people who visit Japan, obviously from the more blue coast perspective, people who sit there and say, like, oh God, I can't wait to go back to Japan. Oh, it's so nice, the homogenous society. But out there in Japan, like the reason people are like this is because it's instilled at an early on age. Whereas like, unfortunately out here in the States, we're kind of like geared towards, how to be indoctrinated to like a 9 to 5 perspective. And that's what was, taught all early on in us, came from like, the society of, the generations where, people like J.P. Morgan and them sat there in like a meeting that sat there and like, how do we, create a society to like instill people into like a 9 to 5 perspective? But it's a different story for another time, so I digress. But out there, you'll see like these mannerisms that are instilled into society. And these people sit out there in Japan, like they, create a good harmony in like themselves. And what you see out there is like a nicer society. People thank each other, things like that. And it's sad seeing like the reactions we get out here in the States, the lack of, common courtesies, the lack of, like respect that we have for people like growing at an early on level. And it's pretty sad to like sit there and see that growing out here on that. So I just want to call in and give you that like perspective like that from right there. A fun one I want to give you on this one. I've been out at sea like too many damn times, like my personal career, things of that nature. And a fun one I've given you, I can talk about this one. It's obviously a little bit past the perspective of time for, what I've done for operations and things like that for my career. I kid you not. You want to talk about some UAPs, things of that nature. So we were out operating out at sea. I was like south of Okinawa, probably about a good 50 nautical miles away. And man, I kid you not, man. I've seen some stuff out there. People don't realize out here in the United States, like why our defense budget's probably the way it is, because we have some stuff that's out there that people do not understand why our defense budget's the way it is. Like we can sit out there. We have technology that's probably more far advanced. I'm not saying I believe in aliens. I'm not saying we have alien technology. I don't have the clearance for that one. But what I'm getting at is, just to give you a perspective, is like I've seen some stuff out there in the middle of the ocean, like Northern Lights, in the Arctic Ocean, all the way down to like, Antarctica, things of that nature. I've traveled the seas far and wide. I got my shellbacks, I got my golden dragon. I got some, naval traditions that I've like, bestowed upon myself, and I probably have enough swallows on my arm for some tattoos that sit there and talk about nautical miles I've gone across the sea. But the craziest thing, I kid you not, I've seen is out in the horizon, I've watched lights move in directions you probably never have seen in perspective. I've watched an S direction that took place. I've watched like lights travel across far and wide. I've seen satellites move in the middle of the ocean. I've seen the Northern Lights. I've seen some crazy stuff. And one of the areas I was operating in, we knew we had an LHA that was out there. We knew we were near Okinawa. I know Okinawa has like F-15s, F-2s from like the Japanese Defense Force, and F-35s out there. But I've never seen light move the way it did on the horizon. And one of my buddies came in looking like the, what's that show called? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the crazy meme right there where the guy is holding his hands up trying to talk about conspiracies. I kid you not, man. Like my buddy came down looking at us from the bridge. He's like, look, man, I don't want to tell you guys, but like there's some lights out here. And we've seen some crazy stuff out there, but different story for another time, so I digress on that one right there. I just want to call in. Hey, appreciate you. It's been a while, some things like that nature right there. Last but not least, I'll leave it on this one right here. When I saw the news for today that took place over at the White House, all the different gun shoots, things like that, I grew up military my whole life. I've moved around, gone to different places, from Fort Benning, the Riley Air Force Base, to growing up in the Hood, Fort Hood, Texas, by the way. I've sat out there and seen some stuff out there. It's pretty ghetto. I remember back in the day when like newscasters came out there during the start of like the Iraqi invasion back in 2001. And everybody talked about coming out there looking at first cav and like infantry divisions and armored divisions out there. But growing up out there, like I've heard gunshots, things of that nature. Living in Waco, heard gunshots, things of that nature, and like watching some of these news reporters like react, panic, things of that nature. To me, I'm just like, gunshots. But hey, ABL, man, it's good to call in. It's been a while. I'll be out here in Japan here in a little bit of myself. So, but you do what you do, man. I appreciate you. I love your commentary, things of that nature. Hopefully you can call in sometime when I get some time out there, be able to call in. So appreciate what you do. And to the comment, everybody watching the stream tonight, thank y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all out there as well, because you guys are the one who keep the stream going for here. So maybe I'll have a good night. Appreciate you. Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate it. Great call. Yeah, I know there's probably some crazy lights you see out there. A lot of the military guys have seen some stuff. You've seen some things. You've seen some stuff. So shout out to my man for the call. I appreciate you guys for being here. But that might be okay. I got one more. You caught me. I got one more, because past some bad time I got to go. But let me get 501. You're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Robert.
All righty. What's happening?
Nothing too much. Just to kind of piggyback from the last two callers. Like I was in the military and I was stationed in Japan, and I concur with the way their law system is. When I was stationed there back in 05, there was a black guy. He was stationed on the Kitty Hawk, and he ended up following a Japanese national to her house, and he killed her. And then he ended up becoming part of the Japanese law system, and like it's totally different from here. You got to learn their language. You got to conform to their system, or you're gonna have an extremely hard time. And then to fast forward to like 2011, I ended up getting stationed back in Japan for a second time, and I ended up seeing that guy there still in prison, because I think he's going to be there for like maybe about 30, 40 years, if not life. But I seen him in his green jumpsuit because of the status force agreement. He still gets to go to the military hospital to get checked out and all that other stuff. But other than that, he's in a Japanese prison, learning Japanese, eating Japanese food, not good food, but whatever they feed him, fish and rice. And he's probably having a very difficult time there. So, I mean, if we here in America, if we were to actually, hold these people accountable, like these parents that just let their kids go out and, do all these teen takeovers and all this other stuff, because imagine if somebody stood up, they didn't want their business or their property getting destroyed by one of these kids, and they end up deleting one of these kids. Then we're gonna have Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff about these kids, acting fools, in these neighborhoods, but not because of what they've done, but because their actions led to them, being in a situation that puts them in harm.
Right.
Yeah. And just to kind of speak on what Ivan was talking about, if you come here with a green card, a student visa, if you're a refugee, any of those people, they are not U.S. citizens. They have no rights. As you and me, they can't vote, not legally. So, I mean, I don't know what his point was, but it's like if he were to try to go to another country and claim asylum or whatever, if they don't grant it to him, they're going to, put him in jail until they figure out where to send him back to. So he's not going to get any kind of status protection or any of that other stuff.
Exactly. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah. Well, I know it's kind of late, so I'm going to get up off. Oh, you said you cooked a steak.
Yes. Well, I didn't cook, sir. I was at a restaurant. I didn't cook it yet.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
yeah, your method. I'm still trying your method once I get to cooking my steak myself.
Got it. All right, man. Well, have a good night.
All right, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Y'all blow my phone up tonight, huh? Okay, I got one more. One more for real. 239. You're online on speaker 2.
Hey, this is Ron from Florida.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. I don't know if I'm changing the direction of what your conversation is, but I mean, I've been watching you for a long time. I love your show. Coming at you from nothing but a direction of pure respect. But if you could, the other day you were talking about that Chud the Builder and Carmelo Anthony. You were comparing them. And Chud got what he got, okay? That's fine. He should have got that. But the Carmelo thing, what bothered me is kind of like and you got your point of view, but I was always told you got to meet with equal force. So if Carmelo's up under the tent, they tell him to leave. They're pushing each other, whatever that is. But nobody pulled a knife on him. He pulled a knife and stabbed the dude and killed him. Could you elaborate on that for me, please? Again, nothing but respect. I watch you every time. So please, if you could just, and I'll hang up and see, if you want to address that or not. But I love you, man. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, now with Carmelo, briefly, what happened was the same thing with what happened. It's the same thing. It's like people coming up to you and starting stuff with you. It's the same principle in both cases. In the case of Chud, he goes to people to start things, to start conflict, to start confrontation. With Carmelo, he's sitting on the bleachers under the thing. Here come two big football players coming up to him, harassing him. Get out of my seat. So in both cases, you got somebody minding their business who's being approached by people, making them do things, antagonizing them, starting stuff. So that's where the first issue is. In the case of Carmelo, I already know what happened. They come up to him, two of them, two big white boys, bullying him. He's a new kid. He don't want to fight. So he goes in the bag with the knife and say, hey, leave me alone. After they come up to him, he doesn't want to use it, but he winds up doing it. Now, for that, he might get some jail time, but it's not totally his fault because he was approached first. You see what I'm saying? It's like, just leave me alone. He goes like this and shows it, and then they still pushing on him, all that kind of stuff. So then he used it one time, hit him one time, and he dies. It's so unfortunate, totally avoidable. And that's why the dad of the bullies, he was like, because he already knows that these kids are doing this bullying stuff. And then what I saw from the dad was somebody got him. That's what I saw from the dad of the kid that got killed, because they talked to him right afterward. It was like the next day, did an interview with him, and that's what I saw on his face. In the case of Chud, all he does is go bully people, harass people, thinking that the law's on his side, he could just do whatever he wants to do. But he found out that was not the case. And then what Chud did was take it to the next level. I'm invincible. Nobody can do anything to me. I can just harass people, get them to quote unquote chimp out, get their reaction and make money from it. And then what I can do, rather than just spraying them with the pepper spray, I can shoot somebody and get away with it, which was not correct. That's why he's in jail right now, about to go to prison. So the lethal force argument is not the main thing. You could say he could go to jail for that, and that's fine, but it's not his fault because he was the one who was approached first. Like, don't approach people. In the case of Chud, if he let's say this, here's a if then scenario to make it make more sense. Just because I know this case, what I'm going to say right now is lawful. If Chud approaches somebody, they get into a confrontation, and from that confrontation, a fight happens. Chuck cannot claim self-defense because he was the initial aggressor. That's an actual law on the books in Tennessee. Initial aggressor. Because they know people will start stuff with somebody, start a fight, start a conflict, and then get beat up or try to use excessive force or whatever, then say, oh, I was defending myself. No, you started it. You could have just minded your business. But no, you started it. And that Bronca dude is a troll. Don't watch that Bronca dude. That Bronca dude is a troll. Bronca, that Bronca law guy, he's a complete troll. What he likes to do is, for some reason, some random odd reason, and Bronca, if you're watching me, bro, like, do you have an explanation for this? What he does is go on Twitter, ex-Twitter, and will comment on young black people graduating with some kind of negative comment, like, for no reason. It's like, okay, you got a black person with a cap and gown on. It's a bunch of these pictures specifically of different people graduating, black people. Oh, why is it a big dude to graduate law school past the bar? It's like, what's it? Okay, so you got a girl with a sash on and a nice dress, nothing crazy or revealing, just a regular nice dress woman would wear, and he's like having a negative comment. And it's a bunch of those under different people's comments, all doing the same thing, graduating. It's like, what's the problem? Like, to me, that's just weird. You're just weird at that point. You're just strange. You type person to have you be on TLC. My crazy addiction. Yeah, I can't stop eating the foam of bed mattresses. That's you, bro. You're a troll. And you know what? It's a lot of trolls on these interwebs. I tell you what, people that do crazy things, they say crazy things. They're just crazy in general. But sometimes they get a lot of attention. They get a lot of notoriety. But it's not necessarily because they're super big brain. It's because they're a little bit off. And they're going to continue to be off even though they get a lot of attention. A lot of these celebrities out here running around. Crazy as crazy it could be, but they get a lot of attention. Therefore, people listen to what they got to say because they're popular. But at the end of the day, they're a little bit off. John Fetterman, brain injury. A lot of you guys like him. I like him too for what he is as a person. But to vote for a guy like that, I think not. I'm not voting for a guy that had brain damage because you know what I want you to do as I close? What I want you to do as a politician is be clear of mind. I don't want you to have a brain injury getting in the way of your decision making. You know what I mean? You might be a perfectly nice guy. Go have a beer with, have some steak with. Okay, we can go do that. We got dinner together, have a great conversation. But to vote for you, I think maybe I don't want my politicians to have brain damage. Just like I don't want my politicians to be going into porta potties and you know what I mean, handling their business in an inappropriate fashion. Talking about something, the blue water gets me going. Weird. But some people are going to vote for that guy, Grant Plattner, for Senate out there in Maine. Some guys are going to vote for him, just like Hunter Biden. Okay, crack smoker, but still people listen to what he has to say. Oh, give him some grace, ABL. I'm not giving guys that smoke crack grace. I'm not giving guys that masturbate in porta potties grace. I'm not giving guys that comment on black people's law pictures, graduation pictures. I'm not, you know what? I'm going to see things like that. I'm going to say, you know what? That person, I might want to just go ahead and avoid because there's something going on here. Okay. And if I do engage them, I may not engage them all the way seriously because I know they got something else going on. John Fetterman. Okay. Great guy. Cool. But that brain ain't braining all the way because you got a brain injury. And it's Eric Swalwell, Fang, Yum. Yeah. I was like, I know what you like to do, Swalwell. You over there with Yum. Okay. And other girls. Okay. Teenage or college girls. Okay. You go on speak to these college girls and then you get everybody in the group and then you take one girl away from the group, put her in a Snapchat group and you send her new PP pictures. You weird. I would not want a guy like that to represent me in my district or anywhere else. I wouldn't even want him to be the dog catcher because you play with the dogs inappropriately. So I don't even want you to do that. Just go over there and just, you know what I'm saying, eat by yourself. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to everybody who's watching the entire time, even with the calls. I appreciate y'all. And everybody who watch any piece of the video, thank you for being here. Did I get everybody on my super chat? I think that I may have. Let me just go check on the back end. But that'll be a wrap for me. If you like what you heard tonight, I know what to do. I'll be back live again on Tuesday on Instagram if you like that. And if you don't want to watch the Instagram on Instagram, I'll upload it on the YouTube on the Friday afterward. So Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll be on Instagram live, and I'll upload that live on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube every Wednesday and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I put up videos every single day, short form, long form, whatever you want it. Please go to Uncle ABL as well for more cultural stuff, rap music, food, music, movies, relationship, dating, all of that. I'll put all those things over there. I think my most recent video on Uncle ABL was about, what was it about? I put up a few things over there, but I put up something about, Alex Cooper, Call Her Daddy. Yeah, that's a really interesting one. So check that out if you want. And I got some shorts over there as well. Okay, that'd be a wrap. Did I get everybody on the super chat? Let me just double check right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. But shout out to you guys for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the moms for keeping the trolls in check as well. I appreciate y'all for that. Let me make sure I got everybody. Okay. Thank you to Sapphire P, who says, I was born and raised Brooklyn, New York. I'm a black conservative. People talk about how bad New York is, but they don't live here. Certain areas don't have rats and roaches crazy. My area, no crime. They know better. But hey, shout out to you. Shout out to you. I'm glad you live in an area where you got things that are pretty good. Hey, I got to go to New York one day soon. Y'all let me know where some good spots to be, where some good spots to stay, a good area for a hotel that I won't be woken up by a big wombat, roach, rat, mutant. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Give me a nice area to stay where it's all good. And I still have access to Manhattan and all that kind of stuff to go do the whole Times Square thing. Thank you to Boycott China. I say Boycott China. Boycott China, who says 5 Guys regular fries is plenty and mixed vinegar, ketchup, pepper in their cup to dip. That's once in a while. No DoorDash though. Salute ABL. You know what? I ain't gonna hold you, Boycott China. I was looking at them DoorDash fries. I was looking at those 5 Guys fries, and I was getting a teeny bit hungry. I was fasting today too. I thought about the vinegar and all of that. I got a little bit hungry. So, hey, you know what? If 5 Guys is open right now, I'm gonna go get some fries. But that might be a little bit big back, so I'm gonna just stay at the house. I got everybody, I believe. Yeah, I got everybody. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the call. Thank you for everything. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.